wanted to hate so hard. And then I surrendered to 1989, and then it was a wrap.
Welcome. Come on in. The water's fine. That's what I tell everybody all the time.
Yeah, no, she's great.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah,
she's my best friend. She just doesn't know it yet.
Oh, she knows. Karina. I sent her a dick pic in your honor.
It's fair. Yeah.
Well, did you see? We just found out that Travis and Jason watched the challenge.
Yeah.
So they know who you are.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Taylor's probably seen you, Ryan.
Like,
with her eyes.
I hope she's like climaxing as I'm getting eliminated. That would be so serendipitous. She'll write a song about it, Bad Billy.
Oh my God.
That's fucking great, dude. That is so fucking great.
Oh, my face hurts already.
Every time Ryan gets booted off a challenge, Taylor Swift writes a song with her vagina.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm never going to listen to Lover the Same.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Oh, shit.
All I could think of was Guilty as Sin.
That's a great song, too.
Oh, it's amazing. That new album is incredible.
I'm putting on a lip plumper for you, Katie. I'm just gonna,
Thank you. Just for me.
God, I wonder what my lips would look like if I did that to mine.
Oh my God, it'd be ridiculous because you got big old lips.
Do it.
Yeah, well, you know, the Lord blessed me with certain things and not others, so whatever.
We'll take the things.
Yeah, you take what you get. I got it for my birthday. It wasn't my choice. All right, so
I'll send you some lip plumper.
Yeah, you know my DMs. You know where to DM me.
I got you. So, Ryan, like I was saying earlier, my name's Rick. This is my wife, Karina.
Hi, Karina.
Hi.
You know Katie, obviously, very well, and Josh very well, so no introductions really needed there. I want to thank you so much for hopping on.
Of course.
Obviously, we're going to talk about the challenge, but as you can see, we don't strictly focus on the challenge. We're here to talk about dick pics and climaxing to Taylor Swift and vice versa. So
I'm all in.
You know, we just want to make sure we cover all the bases.
This isn't like PG-13, like children territory, right?
No. We've got a running joke about a dead chipmunk going. So you know, it is what it is.
And Tina mentioned masturbating.
Yeah, no, we're definitely marked as explicit online. So
Great.
Good.
Great. Perfect. I'm not really good at censoring myself, as I'm sure you know.
I have a theory that, like, that's what makes great challengers are the ones that don't censor. You know what I mean? Because they have to let that go out there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess first things first, you know, we want to kind of get to know you better because we only get, you know, you're out at like All Stars for what, a month, 6 weeks filming, and we get a condensed version of Ryan of maybe 60 minutes, maybe 90 minutes through the whole season.
Right.
Sure.
So our whole goal is to kind of just introduce your fans to who Ryan Kehoe is. You know what I mean? And first of all, am I saying that correctly or am I completely butchering your last name?
No. To be honest with you, I didn't know how to say my last name until my father, when he was still alive, corrected me. He heard me say it casually and he said, "What did you just say?" And I said, Kehoe, like using the H in the ho. And he goes, "That's not how you say her last name. It's Kehoe." And I'm like,
Kehoe?
When have you ever said Kehoe? Ever. Or maybe I just wasn't like paying attention to him, or maybe he just never said our last name in front of me, but it's like an H but like pronounced yo, so Kehoe. It's Irish. My dad was Irish. So, yeah.
That's so funny because my family name it's Matheus, which most people say Matthews. And I always said Matthews when I was growing up, and then one day the same thing, my grandmother corrected me. She goes, "It's Matus." And I was like, who the fuck would ever know that? It's Portuguese. It's Portuguese, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, who the fuck would ever... No, it's just Matthews, Grandma, okay? Because that's too much. That's too complicated.
Grandma fucked your shit up.
I've got just such a generic white bread last name.
Hayes.
Yeah, you can't fuck that up. What? Ha, yes?
Ha,
No, that
yes.
doesn't make sense.
Sorry, how do you pronounce that?
How do you spell it? Ha? Yes.
There you go. Yeah. If you ever use that, don't. Don't.
We're not going to make that a thing.
No, it's not.
It's not a thing.
It's not fetch.
No, it's definitely not fetch. Not today.
No, not gonna make that happen.
So, Ryan, obviously we know you got casted originally for Fresh Meat, and we're going to get into that. But to kind of start off, are you originally from the New York area?
I am taking this giant box from her. Her Amazon boxes are like that. She's just like
The shredder.
crinkling shit. Really, she's so jealous. She's just hating on my shine right now.
This is actually her interview, didn't we tell you?
I mean,
Bring her back.
I thought she was going to start breakdancing when you held up the cardboard. I'm going to be
Right.
honest.
now she's whining. She's literally ruining life right now.
She's like, give me my cardboard back.
It's a good source of fiber.
Right.
I gave her a small piece that won't be quite as loud.
No worries.
All right. Anyway, yes, I am from the tri-state area. I'm a Jersey boy. I grew up like 10 miles outside of Manhattan on the Jersey side.
Oh, shit.
And I moved here in 99. So October will be 25 years that I've been in New York. A quarter of a
Wow.
fucking century. Yeah.
That's
That's a
wild.
long time.
Yeah. I graduated high school, came here for school, and I never left.
Yeah, but I'm going to
I
be
love that.
I'm going to be honest when you say you stay in your hometown, but it's, 5 miles from Manhattan and in the tri-state area, like you're saying. It sounds a lot better than saying, I grew up in Reno and I never left Reno.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't sound as cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I've been to Reno. There's a lot of meth and hookers.
Yes.
That is what we're known for, actually.
It is, yes.
Yeah.
Like Reno 911 wasn't filmed here, but it's super accurate.
It's very accurate.
Super accurate.
Very accurate. Yep.
So
You didn't tell me about the hookers when I came to visit.
they're legal.
They're not far.
Yeah.
They're not far from the
Yeah.
house, bro.
I gotta go.
Just kidding.
You can get meth and a hooker all in one package.
Yeah.
You know?
Talk to your travel agent. You
That's
get
right.
a great deal on it.
Oh my god.
It's a bundle.
Yeah. 5
Yeah.
minutes in, we're talking about meth.
The
Hookers.
hookers.
Meth hookers.
Yeah. I feel awkward going into my next question about you growing up now. Might save that one for a little bit later, but no, what I was going to ask is like growing up, some people dream of being on TV, but I don't think anyone from our generation really dreamt about being on reality TV because that wasn't a real thing unless you were going on like Wheel of Fortune, right? What was like your dreams and aspirations growing up?
I mean, so I watched Real World behind my mom's back because she was super Christian when I was growing up, and we had MTV, but it was in the TV in the basement, and it was like a thing to get away with it. So, I watched the first Real World, and that's like the first reality show, period.
Yeah.
And I think it was like season 3 when Pedro Zamora passed away of AIDS. That season, even as like an 11-year-old, obviously I knew I was different than other guys. I had not gone through puberty or anything, so I didn't know I was gay, but there was a sensibility and I related to him as a cast member on the show. There's people like me out there. And then also the sad dark part. Oh yeah. And we die of AIDS. So, that's a joke.
It's a joke.
Jokes are okay. I'm gay. So I think I was like, oh, I should do the Real World one day. That was just in the back of my head. And then when Road Rules became a thing, I was obsessed because I love competing and I love adventure and I love traveling and I love money and I love winning money. So I actually auditioned for Road Rules right before, because they used to have a cutoff that they probably do now too. But to get on the show, you had to be under 25.
Yeah.
To get on the show, but then they can cast you until you're in an old age home. After you.
It's like the Mickey Mouse Club.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was almost 25, and I was like, I saw a commercial like, if you want to be on the next Road Rules, go to mtv.com. And I went online, and they were doing an open casting literally the next morning in Midtown in Times Square.
Oh shit!
And I was like, what do I have to lose? Yeah, I showed up online. I got there like an hour early. I was in the first group of like 50 people that they took into it was literally a strip club during the day in Times Square with like bridge and tunnel is what we call it. I am technically a Jersey boy, so that is bridge and tunnel. But like lots of Long Island, lots of Connecticut, lots of Jersey people that are like online, and I'm looking around and everyone's like, I got this. And I'm like, no, you don't. Like, you don't. You're not going to get cast, but I probably will. I just knew that I was going to get cast.
Yeah.
And then I ended up being on Fresh Meat because Road Rules, I was cast on Road Rules, and they canceled Road Rules like 2 months before. After I was cast and I went through the whole audition process, they're like, all right, bad news. MTV is canceling Road Rules, so you won't be on Road Rules. But there's two options. You could continue doing like the interview process for Real World, or we have this new challenge that we can't really talk about, but you would just be on it. And I was like, I came out when I was 16 and I'm 24. Like, I don't have a coming out story. I'm pretty comfortable in my sexuality.
Right.
And I also don't need to live in a house with an 18-year-old blonde girl that can't handle her liquor. So I was like, throw me on the challenge. I was like, what do I have to do to be on the challenge? And they're like, no, it's yours if you want it. And I was like,
you're
well,
in, yeah.
And I'm lazy by nature. So I was like, all right, let's go.
You're going to hand it to me.
Work's already done? Let's do that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I love that. That's awesome. And that, honestly, I hate that they canceled Road Rules. I love that you loved Road Rules so much because I liked Real World, but Road Rules was like the one. That was the one I loved watching.
Mine too.
You know, like that's such a cool concept. I don't understand why they even canceled it ever.
I think they ruined the possibility of it becoming good again with like the viewers' revenge, where it was like in real time and people had to phone in and vote, and then they're editing things like a day before they air it. It just was a mess. And I think I would love them to resurrect it. I think it's one of those things that they could resurrect, to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. Especially
think
now.
so, too.
I mean, look at Love Island. Like, that shit's filmed in real time. If they
Dude.
can do it, MTV can do it.
I think that show is so boring. God, I love Olivia and I love Theo, but like,
Yeah.
I tried. It's too much. It's the same conversation backwards.
It is.
And like everyone, it's painful. It's definitely painful. Yeah. But please, Love Island people, come to the challenge and take my spot. Yeah.
So, I mean, and it's interesting to kind of hear how you were in the casting pool to go under Road Rules, and then they cancel it, but you get put right into the challenge with Fresh Me, which is the closest thing there was to, you know, Road Rules at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your feelings going in? Did you watch the first couple seasons of the challenge before you went on Fresh Meat?
Oh yeah. No, I watched. I debuted season 12. I watched maybe not the first like 3, but like when it became Real World versus Road Rules, yes. Like every season, Battle of the Sexes, Inferno, Gauntlet 2. Right up until I was cast, I was a fan of the show.
I love that so much.
Yeah, it was like now it's Housewives for me because I'm getting older. And I like middle-aged women drama now.
Yes.
But that was like I would wait to watch it and like tape it on my VCR, and like it was that and TRL like every fucking day.
Oh Jesus!
Wow. Yeah.
Those
TRL.
were
What
the
a throwback.
days.
Yeah.
Now it's just ridiculousness.
It's Britney, bitch. Yep.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
All the memories. Yeah. Now it's just ridiculousness and deliciousness and I don't know, a bunch of other issues.
Yeah.
I don't know what I just said. Catfishes.
It's not what it used to be. And I mean, I think that's why the Real World and Road Rules hold such a special place in everybody's heart, is because, like you said, watching it and connecting with the people on the show and resonating. And they had really difficult conversations on the show that, you know, a lot of people weren't being exposed to at the time, especially in the early to mid 90s. I mean, there were conversations, but they weren't as open as like we're having nowadays by any means.
No.
Or what was being filmed.
Yeah, it was very groundbreaking. I mean, I do in a sense wish that I had been able to do road rules, because I don't think when you're just thrown on the challenge, people don't really get a sense of your backstory as much, because there's so many cast members on a challenge.
Yeah.
And it's really the competition and what's going on in the house over like the people's backstory. So I think what I love about All Stars is that it dives in a little bit deeper, you know, and like kind of shows evolution of certain people from back in the day, or not. Some people haven't changed and they're still stuck in their own way, but hopefully there's some evolution there. But in a way also, maybe I'm lucky that I didn't get like, they didn't show all my dysfunctional family or trauma and, you know, overdoses, all the good shit that I did in my 20s. Like maybe it's better that, you know, I just kept it challenge related and making out in hot tubs.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh, that was amazing.
Normal Tuesday night. You know?
I love it.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is like we've had the conversation. Is like I'm so glad I went through that stage of my life before social media was really a big thing. Like MySpace was just starting out, you know, and it was like,
oh, I'd be canceled.
Right
Big
away.
time.
Yeah.
I'm glad they deleted all of the MySpace stuff, because I'm sure I said some really questionable shit at 20.
It's got to be out there somewhere, though. They say if it's on the internet, it's there forever. Where's my MySpace pictures?
Yeah.
Where are they?
Where are
They're
they?
somewhere out there.
I couldn't tell you. Oh my God, I remember. Do you remember Johanna from Real World
Yes.
All Stars?
Yes.
Yeah.
She was the one that like, she lived with me after we filmed a season for like a month just to transition into New York. And she was like, you need to get on MySpace. Like it was the coolest, newest thing. And I'm like, but I don't know how to type. But like, how do you?
And you had to like full blown code on MySpace.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I had a Britney song for sure.
Oh yeah. Probably.
Setting up your top 8.
Yeah. The top 8.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck. Public shame. It was great.
Literally. You knew immediately if one of your friends was mad at you. We've gone out of there.
You're done.
Poor MySpace. Poor creator of MySpace. They just waited a little longer and like refined things a little bit.
Yes. That's very true. That's very true.
Yeah.
So coming on to Fresh Meat, I mean, you really got to experience, and I think that's one of the most interesting things about kind of your arc in the challenge, Ryan, is that you've been since from season 40 era 2, but starting off in the first Fresh Meat and then seeing, you know, the team aspect of the challenge, like with the Gauntlet 3, and then also seeing like where it's transitioning to the individual, like the duel 2. The island's kind of a weird season unto its own.
Yeah.
But
He's like, I know, I was
the
there, guys.
island is like the Voldemort of like the challenge. Like we don't say the name. We don't talk about the island.
Okay, thank you. We literally just said this on our podcast the other day, or like not the other day, whenever.
Everything's
but
the other day.
Everything is the other day for
It could
me.
have been
But
6 years ago. It was the other day.
It could have been 6 years ago. I don't know, but no. But we were just saying that we were like, we don't talk about the island here. Like we acknowledge it and we respect it, but we don't talk about the island here.
No, there's not much to talk about.
That was crazy. Like that was absolutely insane. I could not believe when that season came out. I was like, what happened? Did they forget they're not Survivor? I don't understand what happened here.
There's so many things that were wrong with that, but I love that they literally like deprived us of food. Yeah. But gave us like label-less bottles of like anonymous colored booze. They actually took away our hard alcohol after the second night because Abram broke a bottle, started cutting himself with it because Kenny and Johanna were making out and he was so sexually frustrated and mad that other people were hooking up that he started cutting himself because that's cool. He's a nightmare, by the way. Abram, like nightmare. Horrible human. Horrible.
I take back everything I've ever said the more I learn.
Yeah.
He's a psycho, dude.
He's like he's literally like a dangerous person. Like they used to cast him he's good casting because he's fucking nuts, but like
Yeah.
he would take a life and try to get away with it. I'm just saying.
Casting has definitely evolved over the years because I remember, them casting Puck back in like 1992.
yeah.
Dear God.
And you're like, whoa, what the
This
fuck? This guy
fucking
probably
guy.
shouldn't be on TV, but I'm going to watch this train wreck happen every moment.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That is, I do miss the realness of the way casting was. Like, I do feel like all the females that are on like the challenge that are of the new generation, they are beautiful, but they're all beautiful. They
Yes.
all have the same contour makeup, so their faces look almost identical. And they like only cast like attractive people. And that's what I loved about the real world is like, I didn't even I watched the show objectively without thinking about a person's appearance because you just kind of fell in love with their personality. And now, now there's this pressure to like look your best on the challenge while eating dog penis. It's like, I want to look good,
Yeah, and that's always my thing. I'm like, why are and nothing against the girls. I'm not trying to go after them or anything, but like, why are we putting on eyelashes and doing a whole face of makeup to go do a swimming challenge? Or go do an elimination. I'm so confused by that.
I mean, it's a generational thing too. It's like I grew up. I'm 43, so I grew up without social media, and I grew up having to wait for the show to air. I got on the show not knowing who was going to be on the cast beforehand, showing up not knowing anything about anything, and literally, and then when you get eliminated and you're on the show, you still don't know who won until it actually airs. Like, things used to be more authentic and under wraps back then.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's gotten to the point now where I think we know who the winner is within
a day or
a couple days of the final ending.
Yeah, we know
I mean?
when people are eliminated like a day after they're eliminated, like with spoilers and stuff. Like, it's crazy.
I got text like when I got eliminated in All Stars 4, I literally got my phone back that night and I had so many DMs like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, I just found out I was eliminated 5 minutes ago. Thank you.
How the hell do you know?
Oh my God.
Yeah. There's definitely a mole. I personally think that it's in production because there is no...
It has to be.
It has to be. Because most of us cast members, they're people that probably leak shit because they're like, in with GamerVev and all those accounts. But for the most part, we want people to be surprised. We want the fans to like have that authentic reaction of not knowing because it kind of ruins the fun.
No,
I feel like it's probably somebody in production, and I feel like it's almost one of those like to keep the interest going kind of thing. So they put little shit out there. But me personally, I prefer to just like pretend and imagine that it's not production and it's like this random person who just like skydives and they're just like watching, like trying to figure it all out. Like, that's how I imagine these spoilers come. They're like hiding under rocks and stuff. Yeah, like that's how I prefer to imagine it. But I mean, you're probably right. It's probably production.
There's a random drone just on every fucking location.
Or I have like a chip in my penis that I'm not aware of.
They've chipped all of you. That's it.
That exposed a lot of buttholes over the years on that show.
Oh my God. It makes it interesting because like I've heard comments from like current male cast members that are gay that say like, oh, there's a lot more gay sex that goes on in these challenge houses
than what they show.
And it's like, well, I'm sure there is, and people have to protect how they feel about themselves.
Yes.
But it is interesting that production decides not to show any of that stuff anymore. I guess
they don't really show anything fun. I don't want to say anything, but they've definitely pulled back on showing us the fun that you guys have. Like these newer seasons, I'm like, where are the costume parties? Where are the house parties? Where are the pool parties? Where is all the where are the hookups? Where are the fight? Like, where is all of it?
I can guarantee you, if they, as far as content goes, 40 is going to be crazy. There's so many. I mean, there's 40 cast members, so many storylines. But you get fucking, you get fighting. You get. I hope that they do it justice and that they didn't rush the edit, because based on my time there, I think it's going to be like the best flagship possibly ever, honestly.
Oh my gosh.
Because I think whether you're a new fan or an old fan, like, you're going to get the goods. And there were genuine hookups in the house. Like, it wasn't like, we should hook up to get camera time, to get ass back. It's like,
Right.
we were just all, you know, we're just a big melting pot of, you know, 30s to 50s humans. And there was enough single people.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
Well, and that's the thing is, like, in All Stars, I don't really expect to see any of
No,
those scenes.
yeah.
No.
But in the flagship, I expect to see it. You
When
know what I
everybody's,
mean?
24. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see hookups and I want to see fights and I want to see, you know, the costume party. Like, I don't know. I keep
Yes.
going back to that because I miss those. Like, you
no,
guys.
we have a few costume situations
good.
on 40.
Yay!
You might see a little drag too.
Oh, I love that. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so
I'm excited.
excited.
I'm so excited for 40. Oh my God.
It's,
As
yeah.
far as like gay hookups though, like, Derek and I fucked once off camera in between seasons and got it over with. So, like, if they want to see me have sex on TV again, you got to throw in someone new that, like, isn't brother vibes. I'm not going to hook up with the other gay guy just to do that, just to get, like, a money shot for the show.
Yeah.
It's got to be right.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
got to be right. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's, I'm going off the top of my head. I'm thinking of 40 different cast members, but I think you and Derek are the only gay men on this season. Am I incorrect in that?
I mean, there's a lot of gay faces, but as far as, like, actually gay, yes,
Right.
I think me and
Yeah.
Derek. Yeah. There's a couple day trippers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Day trippers. I love that. That's amazing.
In the 90s, we used to call them "they ride the fence." You know what I mean? And that's
There you
fine.
go.
You know, whatever floats your boat, that's your prerogative. But
That's
you know,
amazing.
I do think casting misses out by not, you know, like casting someone like Marlon. You know,
Yes.
someone, you know, some of the Corey Lay more often. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah. No, I heard about Marlon. I heard about him.
That's what you're missing on Twitter, if you're asking.
Yeah.
That's what you're missing on Twitter. Because I'll open up our Twitter and, like, I follow
And
all
there's-
the challengers, and all of a sudden,
There's
you know,
just Marlon.
or
Just-
or Chauncey,
Or
like,
Chauncey.
I'm scrolling and I'm like, Jesus, Chauncey, it's 6 in
Jesus.
the morning.
Someone sent me that recently. Chauncey's nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a size queen, but I'm, like, you know, I like my internal organs as well. So
That's
Yeah.
fucking funny.
I gotta preserve my middle-aged body. You know, I need every organ I can get.
Nobody wants to walk around with displaced hips.
No.
Be comfortable.
However, if there was a sex tape, I would be the first to download and watch it because I want to see how that works.
Yeah.
I digress.
That's what we're here for, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
at the end of the day.
I
But
love
yeah,
that.
that's what you're missing on Twitter. That's the
Yep.
only thing I can really think of. That and just a whole bunch of bullshit all the time.
Oh, it's a cesspool. Yeah.
So,
I got back on Twitter this week for the first time in 13 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I was going to say, how was it?
Well, I made the mistake of, like, the only thing I happened to see was, you know, one of Laurel's fans saying, like, oh, maybe if you weren't such a petty person, you would have made it to the final. And I couldn't help myself. And I also haven't been on Twitter in 13 years. So I was just like, I helped that bitch get to the final, you idiot. And that was all I needed to say. And that it was, like, on. I mean, there's like 7 Laurel fans and they're probably all bots or underage. And then, you know, everyone else does the right thing and, you know, had my back. But I'm like, I don't need anyone to have my back. But it's crazy. Twitter is, like, crazy. It's very toxic.
I don't have a Twitter. I'm like,
Good.
I can't fuck around there.
Mm-mm. I don't do it. It's too much.
It's just scary.
I just mentioned hashtag Tina's thoughts and she showed up.
Tina's funny.
Tina's.
Did you have Tina already here?
Yes,
Oh,
we had her right
yes.
before All Stars 4, and
Oh my
she's
God.
she's a whole vibe. Like,
She's so, I love her. She's
She's so much, and it was so much fun.
So a lot of the older seasons I didn't watch when they happened. That's what I was going to say about the island. It's like I didn't have the ability to see it live when it happened and being like, so I'm looking at it from 10 years later. I'm like, oh, that's not great. But seeing some of the older cast members and then talking to them now, it's you can see the evolution. And Tina, I feel like,
oh my God,
there is a ton. You know what I mean? But she is probably one of the funniest people I've ever spoken to in my life.
Yeah.
The best.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, I'm so glad that we got to do this shit now because we're like the same age and she started before me, but I hated her. I hated all of the vets. Fresh Meat for me was a really horrific start to the challenge world because Shane was my ex-boyfriend and he literally broke up with me because I made it to the finals to be on Road Rules. And he got really jealous and weird and protective because that was like his show and whatever, but like was pretending to be supportive to my face. So actually there was supposed to be another gay guy as one of the veterans, this guy, Danny Diaz, who passed away. He was on Road Rules and they bumped him off when production found out that we had dated and that we were now exes. They pushed Shane on 2 weeks before we left for Australia to replace Danny just to see what would happen because we broke up, didn't see each other. And then the first time I'm seeing my ex-boyfriend is in Australia, camera in my face. Meanwhile, they flew all the Fresh Meat on the same plane and they flew all the vets on a separate plane. So Shane basically said, Ryan's a star fucker. Ryan's a super fan. We got to get rid of him first. So I went into this experience with a target on my back off the bat.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, I was linked up with the Austin cast, so that was a double entendre of fun.
Yeah. What? Holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
That's
That's
nuts.
wild.
It's interesting how much that Fresh Meat season influenced future seasons and how alliances were built. You know, it's just, it was such a pivotal season for the challenge. And, even to this day, you start talking to other fans and you're like, what's one of your favorite seasons? And Fresh Meat always comes up in like the first couple that they name.
Yeah, it's usually like Rivals 2, Free Agents, Fresh Meat, and then like one of the Infernos.
Or the Duel or something.
Duel,
like
yeah.
that.
Oh, Duel. Yeah, that one's such a good one too. Yeah.
That makes me happy because in the moment we all felt like redheaded stepchildren. Like, it wasn't like open arms. Like now I think that it's so saturated with every possible reality show that it's like anything goes, but we definitely were the first to be like, well, you weren't on Road Rules or Real World. You're not a real person. And it's like, okay. And we didn't know if we would get asked back again after that. Like, like we didn't know. Obviously, I think when they saw Kenny and Evan and Evelyn, like, they're like, okay, this is good shit.
I mean, and that's the thing too, is like, what? I don't remember when Fresh Meat was originally filmed, but all these years later, and Fresh Meat is it's in the top 3 for like requested themes to come back. Yeah. Like people want another Fresh Meat. We want that vibe, that feel that we got from Fresh Meat 1, Fresh Meat 2. And if you look at like the cast members that we got from Fresh Meat 1 and from Fresh Meat 2, they're some of the best casts that we've ever had, whether it's physically, entertainment, social, whatever, you know?
Well, thanks.
Fresh Meat is one of my all-time favorites. One of my all-time favorites. I love Fresh Meat. Both of them.
2006.
2006 it aired. I think I got cast in 2005.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I think because it filmed a little bit before that. Yeah.
Yep.
It is, like you said, it's one of the most requested. The only downside is they don't cast the same, so you're not going to get it. And then casting decides that they only want to keep one rookie a season to carry over, maybe 2 or 3 if we're lucky.
Well, they kind of did like an epic fail Fresh Meat with season 39, no?
It kind of, I think the problem, and we've talked about this before too, I think the problem is it's not even just like casting like fresh people. It's the people that they're choosing to cast, because from what we've heard nowadays, when they cast like new people, it's not like a casting call. Like it's just, they just reach out on Instagram to people who have tons of followers and, you know, look interesting, or like
Or
we're on, we're on, you know, Love Island or Big Brother or whatever. It's not like they just go and pick people off the street like they did with you guys, where it's just regular people, you know, and like you were saying before, like, even just with, you know, the looks and the types of people, like they have a very targeted, like it's very, what's the word I'm looking for? Like it's like, I can't think of the word I'm looking for, but it's very dialed in.
Very focused. Yeah.
Very focused, very dialed into a specific type of person. And I think what they're missing is they're missing that raw, real person off the street that's a nobody, has 200 followers on Instagram. Nobody fucking cares about them or knows them.
Yeah.
And bringing them on and letting them tell their story and letting people relate. Like, yeah, it's great to see you guys kicking ass on TV, but what makes, you know, us love you guys is when we can relate to things that you guys have done or that you've been through. And we're like, hey, I feel the same. Or, you know, or like, you know, Ryan's, you know, representing, you know, gay men. Like, hell yeah. Like, it's those things that we relate to that make you guys, that make us have our favorites. You know what I mean? And so I think they're really missing that mark with having real people and not just influencers.
Yeah.
I was thinking when you said I can really relate to these people, and I started thinking about the seasons that I was really fucking off in my life, like doing drugs. And I was like, yeah, I probably could relate to most of the cast at that point. It would have been a relatable time, you know?
But I mean, but even like now, like and not that I didn't like her before, but like John A. She was just always kind of someone there, fun to watch, you know, whatever. And then when she came on All Stars, she came back on All Stars as a mom. I was like, oh, like I can relate to that.
That's
because
it.
I have kids and I would fucking fight and claw tooth and nail for my kids, you know? And so it's just that relatability. And I think a lot of the newer cast is missing that because we don't see those personal moments. We don't hear the stories. We don't, you know, get any of that.
Well,
we get the face that they want to put on for social media or whatever.
Yes. Thank God it had nothing to do with followers and things like that. You know, I do honestly feel like it was so authentic. I mean, even like the way I got on the show is kind of budget. I saw a commercial on cable because I had like cable and I went on the internet and like, you know, printed the thing up at like a FedEx to go and wait in line.
Had to get Google Maps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a fucking pirate just flipping directions over in the car.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Actually, you know what's so funny? Evelyn was also at that same casting.
Oh, no shit.
She didn't tell me because we didn't connect much on Fresh Meat 1, but I think it was Fresh Meat 2. She was like, you know, did I ever tell you that I saw you at that casting? Like the original one? I was like, really? And she was like, yeah, you had the giant mohawk and you had a yellow t-shirt on. And I was like, probably like 100 people behind you, but I saw you from a distance. And I was like, I bet that guy's going to be on the show. And I was like, really? Cool.
That's so fun.
That's
She's
awesome.
someone I would have loved to see come back, especially for this season. But I know it's never going to happen.
Yeah.
Talk about evolution. I love her. I hated her on Fresh Meat 1 because she was so young. Just 18 and 24, there's a big difference of 18 and 24, you know?
100%.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, I remember she poked Coral in the face to be like, I can't believe you're real. And I was like, girl, that's
no.
don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't touch their faces. And
Don't touch their faces.
don't touch Coral's face of anything.
I was gonna
Don't touch
Out of
Coral.
all people, yeah.
Yeah.
That is the queen. What are you doing?
Yeah. And
She's
then,
another
like,
Oh
one.
man.
then she, like, you know, I don't know, at some point she started doing drugs and being like cool and like letting down her guard. And I was like, Evelyn, you're one of the coolest people. Like, you've come a long way. And now she's saving the world in politics. So
I know.
Yeah. It's,
I'm happy for her, but man, I would have loved to see her
come
on 40.
back.
Come back.
oh, yeah. And that's the thing is, as fans, we'll never be satisfied because once they said, like, we see 40 and it's like the best of the best broken into eras, we're like, okay,
We've been
I love
asking
this.
for this.
I love this, but can we make it 60 people and include like these additional 20, you know?
You're missing some people here.
You know, and that was the thing is we went over the cast and I was talking to her when I first saw it and I was like, oh my God, I love every single person that they put on this show because they all bring either, one obviously experience from era 1, era 2,
Right.
and the understanding of how the game's evolved and how to still play it. To even the newer people with the heavy athleticism like Horacio and all of that, it's going to be such a great dynamic. I was like, I've got nothing bad to say other than I wish there was like 20 more people on here because I want to see these other people too.
Well,
and that's it.
It was real difficult when we did our cast breakdown for season 40 because we did misses, who was a miss from this area. And then we were trying to see okay, who would we remove for these misses? And then we kept looking at each other. We're like, we wouldn't remove anybody. We just want 3 more spots per era, 3 or 4 more spots per era. And it'd be great. It's great though. I'm excited.
The good news for the people that were asked that said no, I mean, it leaves room for people like me that aren't necessarily a threat, but comic relief, which is much needed on a show like that.
Oh yeah.
So, Wes doing House of Villains, I'm like, yeah, keep doing those other reality shows.
And you know what? I like the idea of the rotation of cast that we've seemed to get with 40 and through these last couple seasons, because I love Tori, but I don't want to see her on 9 seasons straight.
No.
I want to see the cast rotated. I want to see Ryan come in. I want to see Derek Chavez. I want to see Derek K too, but I just don't want to see everyone every single season on there. There needs to be some rotation into it. Otherwise it gets stale as a viewer. And I'm sure stale as a contestant as well.
Mm-hmm.
I shouldn't say contestant. I should say cast.
Yeah, but those paychecks though, you can really, you can make it into a career. You really can.
Well, that's, we have that discussion all the time because, one of the fans' biggest people that they love to harp on of why do they keep getting cast is Anissa. And why does she on the show? And I'm like, would you say no? If they called you and they said, hey, we'll give you X amount to go on vacation for free, go party, go do cool shit that you would never normally do in your life and hang out with a bunch of cool people and get paid for it, you're going to tell me you would say no? You're a liar. You're a fucking liar. Why would she say no? They're like, I don't understand why Anissa says yes when she knows she can't physically. But who fucking cares about that? Would you say no? I never would. I never would.
Yeah. No, I think Anissa's had a brilliant reality television career.
Yeah.
I personally love her as a human, and I've known her since we were in our early 20s.
I adore her.
What I will say about her specifically is that she may not have won a challenge yet, but she will bring whatever she has in her body. She will go 100%. She's never going to pussy out. She'll do everything.
Exactly.
She's hilarious in her interviews. Production loves her. She has a great relationship with them. And she makes good TV,
Exactly.
She has no problem talking shit. She fights the good fight.
Yes.
And her ass has been backed in a corner several times, and she has forgiven a lot of people that have made moves and vice versa. She's what, to me, Anissa is what the show is, just unhinged, unfiltered humans that speak their mind.
Yes.
And zero fucks given. And that's brilliant.
It goes back to all that we're saying about why we love you OGs, because you are so unfiltered.
Yes.
That's what we want.
Yeah, because we didn't get canceled back then, so now we're here still. Yeah,
it's like trying to cancel Slim Shady. It's just not going to happen.
No, you can't cancel.
No.
Can't cancel M.
No, as much as they try, it's just not going to happen. Well, and it goes back to the casting theme. They casted you based on personality, and I'm sure looks went into it to a degree. But we'll never see another Big Easy on the challenge.
No,
it's never going to happen.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And that's
well, shit.
You know what I mean?
No, I feel like he is pretty salty, in general.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I think he thinks that there is a weight discrimination happening. I don't think there is, to be honest.
Well, I mean, who's the other one that talks about all the time? Derek Frazier from Big Brother.
Frazier, yeah.
He's made it known, because there's been a lot of people from, what was that, the Cookout that have been casted, like Kyland, like Xavier on USA.
Tiffany, Alyssa, literally so many people from that season.
And he's never been casted, and he's put out interest. I remember watching that season, he was telling people about the challenge. He's like, oh, it's my favorite show. I love CT, blah, 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 that kind of thing. But it is interesting that we're not seeing anyone that isn't, in great shape being cast on the challenge in these newer seasons.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, also, like, you got to take in consideration how you treat production.
100%.
They remember it. They all talk. There is like a level, because I work in production and like I know the other side of it. I have so much patience and so much, like, I do not bite the hand that feeds me. I respect them. I respect their time. They are working harder than us and getting paid less. So how you treat production and also the way you talk about the franchise publicly,
Yes.
that'll bite you in the ass. You know, I've had opinions about things where I'm like, like, but I talk to my friends and family about it, but I'm not going to go on social media and be like, this network is, you know, like, no,
Right.
like, do you want to be back on the show? Then like, shut your mouth, honestly, and like, have respect for where you came from. That's my opinion.
Well,
It's true. It's so true. And I mean, I don't necessarily want to go into names, and you know, there's
I'll
actually
say it,
quite
I
a
don't
few
care.
people who do
Do
this,
it.
but
Cara.
she went for like 3 years just bashing MTV, bashing the challenge, bashing production, talking about how they cheat for Johnny Bananas, all this stuff. And she was not getting cast. And the minute she stopped talking about that stuff, she started getting cast again. Now, I don't know if there's other stuff that goes on behind it, but there's a lot of challengers that kind of stuff happens to. I mean, you know, even like right now, like
Oftentimes
there's an issue.
they just slap you on the wrist,
Right. Yeah.
you know, and give you like a
They're like, hey,
timeout.
knock it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to really shit talk the network or production for them to blacklist you forever. But I do think that they do like have room for forgiveness,
Yes.
but they want you to feel like you're not invited to the party for a minute.
right.
And that's fair. I mean, it's fair.
It's fair.
is.
Yeah.
I
I
mean-
think it's fair too.
we don't know. Sorry.
No, I have
We
the
don't know
same
what
issue
she.
today.
By the
what
way, this is zero nicotine. It is a vape. I'm sorry. It's my only vice left, guys.
Hey,
You're
Get
good.
Dude, we're going to get into the recovery. That's going to be like a focal point that I want to talk to you about because I'm a recovering addict as well. I know Josh is going through
God bless.
recovery currently as well, and we'll get into that definitely. So look, nicotine isn't the worst thing out there. It's not the best thing, but it's not the worst thing.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
But let's be honest,
Take your
sugar's
poison.
bad.
Take
Yeah,
your
sugar's
poison.
fucking
Yes.
bad for you. Look at me.
Yeah.
I mean, look, this is what sugar does to you. You want man boobs, this is what happens.
I drink coffee literally from morning to night, all day, all night.
Like you
That's
get the
the last thing
cleavage
I gotta
shots.
do.
You get the cleavage shots. Exactly.
they look just
Yeah.
like mine.
Katie, my soul sister. They're gonna stay perky longer, baby.
Yes, you know, yes. That's
Just
I
yes,
don't
you're
have
right.
words.
You
They
are.
will.
You're right.
Perfect,
You're
just
right.
the way you are. Yes.
Thank you.
Are you guys already at the point where you're sending each other nudes just to talk about each other's
Maybe.
bodies?
Maybe.
Maybe just a little.
Good for you guys. I'm happy you found that connection.
I may have sent an unsolicited dick pic. So
Perfect.
Just remember, if you're posing as the guy, don't try to make it artsy. You just aim and point. That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it can't look good.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I got some good angles.
Josh is like sets up the ring light. Like
I'm just saying.
If I was going to do the ring light, I would put my dick through the ring light. Like make it like a video. Yeah, kind of like those transitions on
Ryan's getting
TikTok.
ideas.
I'm like, yeah.
we got all kinds of ideas for OnlyFans up in here.
Josh, that's too small for you, buddy. Too
You
small.
know,
Oh my God.
I know all about you, sir.
God, I didn't know we were filming an episode of Pillow Talk today.
That's amazing. I love it.
I love you, Ryan.
I love you back. Sober and hung is what you should start a new podcast. Sober and hung.
Fuck yes.
Let's do
Fuck
it.
yes. I can already think of how I'm going to make the S shape.
Oh my God.
It's going to be a great logo.
What are you talking? Oh God, never mind. It's
Not what you were
S and
thinking.
sober and hung?
yeah, I know. I got confused because the S and then
NDR? NDR?
Mm-hmm,
The R, yeah, the R works.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Josh, you look like a curver.
Oh, that's amazing. I love it.
Mine tilts to the right. It's like a leaning tower.
I heard it's just based on if you're right or left-handed, but who knows?
I'm a righty, but I use my left hand to jerk off. Is that weird?
It's a switch hitter. I can appreciate that. Ambidextrous. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's why you're probably really good at the challenge too. Who knows?
There we go. Full circle.
I'm so glad we went to video.
I am my mother's daughter. Yeah.
I'm so glad we went to video.
Can I pee?
Oh, yeah,
No,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not allowed.
Hey, I'll be quick.
3:28 a.m.
I decided to be shirtless for the rest of this.
Ooh,
I like it.
it's
Yeah.
extra spicy now.
I turned off the AC so I can hear. So I'm just going to be shirtless with you guys.
Perfect.
Look,
Yeah.
we get it. It's like 104 degrees here right now, so it's
It's been a hot summer.
I am over it. Yeah,
I'll take it though. I'm
Me
keeping
too.
it. I want to keep it forever.
I do not. You can have
Melt
it.
me.
all those people talking about. Oh, I miss summer. Look at you, musty.
Musty.
Menopausal all around.
Mhm. All right, so I'll share this real quick. It has nothing to do with anything else. I work in HVAC, so heating and cooling. We got a call in the middle of fucking winter about this woman complaining that her house wasn't cold enough. And I was like, you live up in Lake Tahoe. It's 22 degrees. Just open the fucking window. You don't need to turn
Yeah.
on your AC.
No, save money. Just
Yeah.
crack it.
Yeah, I don't care how bad your
open the
hot
window.
flashes are. It's 26 degrees out. You'll cool off.
Literally
Believe me.
snowing. Go outside and lay in the snow. You're in
Yeah.
Tahoe, okay? Like, come on.
It's like, dude,
Wait, refresh my memory. Where is everyone right now?
so
We're in Reno.
Yeah,
Oh,
Katie?
yeah. Okay.
Washington.
You're still in Reno. Got you. Okay.
yeah.
I'm in New York, but I'm nowhere's near you. I'm in between like Rochester and Buffalo.
Oh, okay. I dated a Rochester.
Really?
Rochester. Oh, yeah.
No.
I've been up there a lot.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah. Katie, I'm going to Buffalo for a Challenge Mania the
You
end of
are?
September. You should come. You don't have to pay.
Stop it. Depending on when it is, I will be there.
Watch it be the 18th or the 21st.
No, that's what I'm nervous about. We're going to Michigan.
Oh, it will be that I think the 22nd. Is that a Saturday?
It's a Sunday.
I think that's the Sunday.
Sunday.
21st is a Saturday.
Okay. So it's the 22nd.
Karina, you want a road trip back with me?
So
Yeah, so the 22nd is Sunday, September 22nd.
yeah,
That's when it is. It's on a Sunday.
I want Ryan in Portland next month
Me
on
too.
the 17th.
I know. Scott said he's already booked up, and yeah,
Yeah.
it's a business. I get it. He can't fly all of us everywhere all the time.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for them to do an actual Mania in Sacramento or San Francisco again.
Please not
instead.
Sacramento.
But they just
No.
do bowling. Like every time they go to Sacramento,
Every
they go
time they
bowling.
come to-
I'm like, I love Challengers, but I don't want to bowl with
I
you
don't
guys.
wanna go bowl.
I don't want to bowl with my
I want to
friends.
go get drunk. Like, I want to go drink with you guys and watch you guys tell funny stories and shit. Like, I don't want to bowl.
No, I hate when it's activities because it's
Mm-mm.
like
No.
It's very much like a dance, monkey dance.
you can do the activity after the Q&A,
Yes.
but
Yes.
like people that are paying for these events want to hear us talk about our experience and ask us
Yeah.
questions and interact. They don't necessarily want to watch us play foosball, you know?
No, that's not what I.
That'd be
no.
like, you know what? We're going to do a Challenge Fandom podcast live event where we all paint a house. Just watch.
You just watch us
You
paint.
know,
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
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 Awesome.
Like,
It's
what
not
is
that.
that?
We should probably cut that out. I don't want to piss off Scott or Derek. So.
No,
Yeah.
Scott. Suck a dick, Scott. I love you, but yeah. No more bowling, Scott.
No more bowling, Scott.
He already
Bowling
calls
is for lesbians.
He already calls us the other podcast.
I know.
so.
He already doesn't like us very much.
Really?
He refers to us as the other podcast because CT came on our podcast before that he went on Mania. And so Scott
And I
got a
called
little
him out
bummed.
for it in Vegas.
Can I be honest with you? Like, I don't know you guys that well. I've seen snippets of things, but I was looking forward to this. I don't normally necessarily look forward to them because you never know what the vibe, especially one-on-one. It can be like crickets where
Yeah.
you feel like I need to generate the interview or whatever. I was really excited. Yes, Katie, you had a huge part to do with that, but I just think you guys have a really good, cohesive fun, light energy.
Okay.
And I just like that it's multiple people. It's fun.
Yeah.
It makes sense because I mean we can sit there and discuss things, but it feels like an echo chamber a lot because we're husband and wife. So it's good to bring in like Katie and Josh to give us that other perspective. But we're all friends. Like we're all going to meet up in Detroit. I mean Josh is going to be able to make it, but we're going to go up to Detroit, meet up with Pierre and Zach while we're up there, and
Awesome.
get to know them, a little bit better. So it should be a good time.
Yeah, we're supposed
They're
to meet.
great.
Yeah.
They're great. Actually, I enjoy doing their podcast as well. I was a little like, I don't know. I just heard a lot of things about Zach, like great things. And then I hung out with him for the day and I was like, I like you. I don't give a fuck about who voted for anything. It's just like, we're all human. We're entitled to each other's opinions. But they're very good at what they do. I'm happy for them.
Oh, they're great. Yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
We still peer every once in a while.
Yeah. We steal him once a season, or once a season, and have him come on and recap here with us. He's awesome. I love him.
But that goes back to what we were saying earlier. Like with Zach, like people are so visceral with their like dislike for him, and it's like you're judging a man who was on TV when he was 23, 24 years old, probably just out of college. And I would hate to be filmed at 24 and the shit I said and did to other people. Yeah. And to think that this man 15 years later hasn't changed after he's married and had 3 kids and sees the world completely differently. Doesn't mean he couldn't be an asshole if he was one, but typically, like
we've all been
a
dick. I'm still a dick, like, I'm still judgmental and self-righteous and all the things. I mean, we're human, so we make mistakes.
Yeah, exactly.
And it kind of goes to what we were saying earlier, like where everybody has a role on the challenge. Like, you know what I mean? Like everybody brings something to the challenge. Like I'm not the biggest Amanda fan, but I know what she brings to the challenge and I'm okay with that.
She knows what she's doing. She knows what she's doing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, and I've seen her.
She was lovely to me. I will say, I couldn't see the thing in person, and I even said that to her, and she was just like, "If I like you, I like you," and I was like, "Okay, well, please don't stop liking me because I like being on this side of the fence.
Don't get on her bad side."
Yeah, and I've seen your remarks on, Tori and Amanda, where you're like, they're both decent people. I like them both. You know what I mean? It's just for whatever reason they don't like each other, and that's fine.
I'm just a loyal ass bitch. Tori is like my ride or die from the challenge, so I'm like, fuck Amanda. But I literally never talk to her. I just see the edits on TV, and I'm like, that's fucked up. And then but. I'm sure she's a lovely person in real life,
I love Tori. Yeah.
Oh, Tori's she has got a special place in my heart. I adore Tori.
But Tori and Amanda also, like in the house, weren't like, why are you talking to her? They literally exist on separate planes of existence as if they're not there.
Yes.
So there's none of that, like, you can't be friends or talk. Like, they don't care. They're just like, yeah, you do you. And I like that, though. Because back in the day, it's like if you talk to the enemy, it was like you become a target or whatever. Like people.
Oh, we saw it with you. We saw it with you in Fresh Meat too, where you had to play both sides. You know what I mean? The whole season.
The whole season. Yeah. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
You're welcome.
It's tough.
I loved it.
It was so good.
Look, I talked about it this year when we were watching All Stars 4. I was like, Ryan is playing this season really well. He's playing both sides of the house because he's playing the Laurel side at the time and the Cara side as well, to a degree.
Trying to keep them,
And gotta keep them separated.
Yeah. That's what we've heard, Seen some screenshots, but that's about it. But you play the game well. You have a great vision for the game and how it's being played out from what we've seen in the edits. You know what I mean? So I wanted to compliment you on that. And
thank you.
I'm really looking forward to seeing how you're going to play on season 40 with such a large dynamic of people.
I mean, I honestly never have an agenda going on the show. I really, especially now being sober, I take every day as a new moment and everything is a new moment. And I want to be wrong about people that I have preconceived notions about. I want to be, I like being wrong because then I'm learning something. And then I'm also humbling myself that I think that I know everything, because you don't. And things change and shift so much on the challenge, like rules and, just you're dealing with 40 narcissists
Yes.
Yeah.
with different personalities. So you have to be able to adapt and be a chameleon. Otherwise, you're going to crash and burn. So I don't have an agenda. I don't think like I'm going to align myself with this person. I'm 43. Like, I don't waste my time with people that suck energy out of me or that don't reciprocate energy with me. So I did that on 4 a little bit because I wasn't really privy to the bigger picture and I was just seeing what I was seeing in the moment. But yeah, I definitely aligned myself with the wrong side of history on All Stars 4.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from that, but at the same time, it got you damn near to the final. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And one step away. So I wouldn't call it, maybe might have been the wrong side of 2 arguments, but it wasn't the wrong side
honestly,
of the...
I had fun. I had fun with Laurel. I mean, I can tell you that we will never have a friendship ever again. No desire now. But we had fun then. And we laughed a lot. And I saw red flags left and right. And I was like, ooh, I don't want to be on that side of it with her because I see how that can go. And I don't want to be that. But I also was not subscribing to like, let's take Cara, like I was the only person that like came into the room when Brandon did what he did. And she was blindsided. I know we're playing a game, but...
You called it. You said exactly what was going to happen.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, did you know, or was that just like a...
That's how she feels too, okay? She has an opinion on this, Dad.
She's like, hey.
She's like, you tell them, all right? You fucking tell them.
Say it with your chest, Dad.
Jesus.
I'm a sweet little angel.
Oh, she the baba.
Who's my baby? She looks so much like my baby did when her face was still black. Now she's just all gray.
Please don't bark at nothing.
Our dog does that too, literally at everything.
Sit on Daddy's lap.
Well,
so damn cute.
But no, what I was saying was when that happened with Brandon and and Cara getting blindsided and they were back voting and you had told her, I feel like your friends are gonna vote you in. They're gonna flip on you, dude. Like, just be prepared. Did you actually like know that they were gonna do that, or was that literally just like pure instinct?
I honestly think I'm like one of the most perceptive people. Like, I see everything all the time. And now it's like not having alcohol or any substance to kind of like cloud my judgment. I really see and feel everything. So I could just read the room. And I saw it happening as a slow motion accident. And Cara, part of her charm is that she genuinely is a little naive and wants to believe the best in people because she wouldn't do that to people. thought, I mean, also like, it's not a bad move to try to get rid of Cara, in a competitive standpoint. But I also saw the way that he was like sucking on her asshole and how quickly he flipped when he had a little window of power. He flipped it.
Right.
So I just see everyone like running their game. And yeah, it happened. I think it honestly I think All Stars 4 set me up to be prepared for 40.
Yeah. Right.
And I'm so happy that Cara is become one of my closest friends from the show.
Yeah.
I didn't see that happening. And it's kind of an effort. She's coming here in 2 days to stay with me for a few days. And I'm never had her in my personal space before.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. She's a tourist. She loves horror movies. We're just going to like eat a lot of food, chill with the dog, go to Central Park, and not talk about the challenge, you know?
Good. Yeah.
You guys only played like once together, and she was literally there for one episode on Fresh Meat 2, right?
Yeah. No, I remember when she went home, I was like, see you never. Like, not even knowing she would become this like
One of the goats, yeah.
Literally the face of the challenge. And then I would like, I was removed from the show. I didn't watch the show after I was no longer on it, but I would see like an advertisement with Cara's face. And I'm like, oh my God, that girl that I wrote off as like, see never is like running the shit. And I'm so proud of her.
Well,
that's awesome.
Her and Bananas fall into that same boat of having like a really shitty first season and then just
out
completely turning it around.
And then, now they're, considered some of the best.
I mean, Evelyn was out first on Fresh Meat.
Yep.
I was out second on Fresh Meat.
Exactly. So. And that's the thing is, I mean, like, it's funny too, because if you think about if she never came back, her everlasting memory of the challenge would be coming out yelling at the house because
at West for partying
when Darrell had to go in.
I actually received that yell. I happened to be in front of her when she came out and exploded, but that was my only interaction with her on Fresh Meat 1.
Oh my God.
Or Fresh Meat 2 was me dancing like a psycho, like
that's
strip
right,
teasing, and her stopping me mid twirl and me being like, bitch, I'm fucking dancing. I'm sorry you're going in exile. Yeah.
Sorry about your luck.
Well,
I just want to dance.
It's funny though. It's all about timing, like in relationships in general. It's just about timing, having that right time, getting to spend enough time with that person and get to know them. And I think you guys have known each other, what? Fresh Meat 2 was 2010?
9. We filmed 9. It aired 2010. Yeah.
So 15 years, you guys have quote unquote kind of known each other. And then the friendship develops at the 15-year mark. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. That's crazy.
It is awesome. Yeah. It's very effortless with Cara. Like, I really feel like we see each other and we, I like make fun of her for being so famous, like for being like that level of reality famous.
Yeah.
Because she's really not hungry for fame at all. She's really, truly loves to compete. And of course she loves doing the show and it's been her bread and butter for years, but she's so much simpler than people want to paint her. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, like, she's just a good human.
Yeah.
And she's really like, whatever that Julia Roberts movie is, like, I'm just a girl talking to a boy. What's that famous line? I think it was Notting Hill or something.
Oh, yeah. I'm just a girl standing in front of a boy, asking him to love her or something. Something along those lines. Yeah.
She's that girl. Like, that's what I think.
And look, nobody who really wants to be famous decides to live in Montana. Now, I know she did that for a man, but she stayed there for years. I mean, Yellowstone wasn't a thing when she was doing that. So.
It wasn't cool then.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
And look, I have opinions on every person that I've seen on the challenge, right? But that's an edit that I'm watching, not the actual person. I think that's important for fans to remember. My biggest.
I have 2 separate opinions on every single challenger. I have an edit, what I think of the challenger, like their edited version on the show, and then what I actually think of them, like in real life after talking to them, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Are you ever disappointed?
With some of the challengers, there have been a couple that I've really enjoyed on the show, and then I meet them and interview them, and I'm like, You're fake. Yeah, I can tell you're fake just by talking to you. And as soon as we hit record, they act different than before we hit record. Just little things like that where you can tell they're not being true to who they are.
I think it's so exhausting to play a character. It's so much easier to just be chill and be yourself.
Just be yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. And I saw it on 40, and you could definitely see who the Big Brother cast members were, like the way they moved in the house and stuff. And even like, I remember CT and I, the first night, we walked into the room and it was the newer kids and they were almost like staging a scene, like as if they were actors and like, and we're going to talk about that. And I'm like, ugh! Like CT and I looked at each other and we're like, oh, I didn't realize we signed up to be on a fucking soap opera. Like back in the day, if the camera crew captured the moment, then they got it. If not, sorry, you're out of luck. However, like if you're talking about something and it's game related and they ask you, can you say that again? Of course, yes, you can say it again.
Right.
But like when you're like pre-planning a conversation, it literally makes me like, I thought we were filming a fucking reality show, bro.
Yeah, this ain't real.
What is this? It feels so hokey pokey dokey. I don't like it.
I think that's why it's so important for like people from the older school challenge, the era 1, era 2s, to continue playing a little bit of a role in this, because I've heard multiple people talk about how like CT or Bananas or Anissa, they'll tap one of the cameramen and say, you're going to want to get this on film over here. What's about to happen? Giving them the
I'm
heads
okay
up.
with that.
Yeah.
Because you know you're about to have an important thing. It's like the premeditated things where it's like, okay, and you're going to sit here. And I'm like, no. How about you sit on my face? Like, what? Like, no, we're not. There's no seating arrangements on a reality show. I mean, unless we're in a deliberation and like we have to have it look pretty. But, yeah.
Like
it happens a lot, and we actually like, and even just as the audience, you can tell like if a camera rolls up and two people are like sitting on a couch and they're talking about who are we going to vote for, or what's our plan going to be for tomorrow. You can tell whether those people were already sitting there talking or whether they were placed there to talk about that subject or place themselves. Like, you can tell the difference when it feels like an authentic conversation and when it feels placed. And whether it's placed by the cast or by production, it doesn't play off well. And I hate those scenes. I hate those forced scenes where it's like, sit out here and talk to your partner about this or whatever. And you can tell it's so forced because they're not saying anything. They're just talking in fucking circles to make the cameraman happy. So I miss the authentic, the realness of reality TV.
Yeah, same. You'll get, I mean, that was a moment like at the beginning, and I think everyone just had to get their bearings. But after that first night, I think the drama and the story just took care of itself. Once the game starts and there's rules and you know what's what,
right?
You don't need to try to like create scenes or make things happen. It's like, oh, it's going to happen on its own. But it was really just that first night. But CT and I were literally like, we didn't sign up for this. Get us the fuck out of here.
I was going to say, and he's like, no fuckery. He's like, he was probably like, what the fuck is this?
When you were asking us about challengers we've talked to, I would say CT is one of those that surprised me the most because he was authentically himself through the whole interview. So it never changed. It never switched pace where I don't want to drop any names, but there are a few that you can notice. One of the realest people we've ever talked to was Tyler Duckworth, though.
Oh, yeah. Tyler was.
Oh, fuck yes. Good shirt choice.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yay.
It's better.
Yeah. You know what?
We've got all the outfits today.
If we don't do a couple wardrobe changes, are we even really doing a podcast at that point?
Right?
Especially ours.
Yeah, we're not the challenge. We don't make you wear the same shirt in all your confetti. It's fine. You can change.
Yeah. And I promise you, like, I don't like sit alone at home trying on jerseys and jerking off to, like, watching old seasons. I'm not a creeper like that.
Look,
I just recently revamped everything and I found like my box of challenge stuff. So I was like, oh,
that's
I'll
awesome.
Keep this one handy. Yeah.
I love that.
Look, I had a discussion with my friends growing up. I was like, if I ever made it as a pro in sports, I would wear my own jersey to the bar. Fuck it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Why not?
No.
So I actually had a really quick question, and it's something like I always wonder about, and I try to ask as many challengers as I can because I'm always curious how you guys see the situation. And we talk about this all the time, is separating, like being in that, playing with friends, and having to make the kind of tough decisions that you guys do. We talk about whether or not it's like people have the ability to separate the game from real life. So I'm curious, like how you feel about that or how you see that. Is that something that like people are able to do, or can you separate what happens in the game and keep it separate from a friendship in real life?
Yes. I mean, if you're someone that is in my like inner circle, like, my shit, or you've met my family, you've stayed at my house, I've stayed at yours. Like if we're close like that on a level, I in the game would like a heads up.
Right.
Yeah.
If something's coming to me that might be like out of nowhere, like I would like a heads up. And I think that's like an understanding. But if I had to like, never talk to a friend for saying my name, like you have to have tough skin and know that it's a game. But I think if I was blindsided, that would fuck me up. Like if Derek was like, "Oh, by the way, you're going in like 5 minutes before deliberation," I'd be like, "Oh, okay. Well, then it's on, and I'm gonna win, and you're going in next time, and also you're never coming over again."
Fuck you. No more sleepovers. No.
You just recently came back from his house.
I think that's the thing with Johnny is like Johnny can be so charming and so cool. He is astonishingly charming and can be so normal, and you like forget he's this caricature Johnny Bananas, but he can flip on you so quick, and it's so off-putting for someone like me that is so aware of everything that's going on. Like I'm like, holy shit, I just bought into your bullshit. This is your thing. Okay, you do this. Got it. That's why you've won 7 times. That's why you keep getting asked back. Like, he has a certain trait in his personality where he can literally turn off his humanity switch. It's like fucking Vampire Diaries. Like, just like, you know, when push comes to shove and it's his game and it's his world that we're living in, he has no problem throwing anyone under the bus at any given time. Yeah. And that's great for his game, I guess, but perhaps not. But he's also not looking to make friends on the challenge, you know?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, after he did what he did to Sarah, it's
kind of felt like all bets were off the table at that point.
Yeah. And I mean, look, I don't know if they were just Facebook friends or if they were, you know, actual real life friends that went over to each other's house. And that's, and you've made that, you know, there's a very distinct difference in that.
Yes.
Look, like we have a different dynamic. Like we ever say, if we were on the challenge, you can fucking lie to me or whatever, and you can vote me out. I understand because I know what we're working towards and what we have back at home. Mm-hmm. But that's very different from like a friendship standpoint. Where, I would definitely want a heads up. Like, hey, look, this is what's going to happen. This is what I have to do to get further in my game. I'd be like, it sucks, but I get it.
I got to send you home, bro. I got to put you in. I don't, you know.
I get it. It sucks, but thank you for being straightforward with me. That's the most I can ask for me. You know what I mean? So I really actually respect that answer a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I got real distracted by Vampire Diaries being brought up, so I stopped listening after that.
I wore my vampire contacts for you, Katie.
Thank you.
Yeah, they're not so really fun. Vampire contacts, but they're a little crazy looking.
No, they're so fun. I love them.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate that. That's you really go all out, and I appreciate that, Ryan.
I mean, I didn't wear underwear or like really like clean my nether region, but
that's okay.
I'm good from here up. Yeah.
103 degrees. Musty. You know what I mean? Like we all know what it is.
43 leaning to the right.
Yep. Hey, every guy knows if they saw like footprints and it's normal steps and then just one side step, we know what that is.
Oh no.
We know what that is.
Yeah.
Musty. Sorry. I'm killing time. Karina went and took a piss.
I'll get a drink then.
Yeah, let's take a couple minutes and we'll be right back.
Are we all gonna go potty?
Yes. Why not? It's a group potty break.
Okay.
I'm not going to take a shit. I'm going to save that for on camera.
Thank you. Because not all pee-pee times are poo-poo times, but all poo-poo times are pee-pee times. Yep.
6.5 hours later.
We have to.
Well, I just want to say, Rig and I had a good little laugh just now when we took our little potty. This fly is going to freak, and you need to die, bro.
Is it the Pence fly he lives on?
Yeah, just keeps going. Just fucking keeps going.
But we were just having a good look because Rick made a comment. I don't remember how we got on this subject, but he was like, we got on the subject of going to a gay bar with Ryan and Derek. And I was that would be the most fucking fun thing ever, I think. Like, that would be the most fun ever. I would do that right now. And it would be the most fun I've ever had in my life. Like,
and it's on. It's on.
He's like, let's go.
Happen.
Yeah.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
We have to manifest it.
Except real quick, but I had a change of plans. I have to go pick up 30 minutes.
Oh,
okay.
Okay, well then we'll rapid fire through the parts that Josh I know is really wanting to bring up because it resonates so much with us. On a side note, just to lighten it a little bit before we get into that, I did see another stand-up comedian. He was talking about, as a straight male, whenever a gay male compliments you, how good it feels. And I was like, that's why women love compliments from other women. I get it now.
Or gay men. Yeah. Like
it makes sense.
It's the best. But if a straight man it's not the same.
Like,
It's not
the same.
when we got Derek Frazier on here and I sent him that Instagram message and
he hit
started,
on you.
and he started hitting on me, I was like, damn, I must be looking good right now.
He was like, look at what Derek said. I was like, he was so excited that he got hit on by a gay man.
I told him,
It's
I was
exciting.
like, look, I was like, dude, look, hey, if I wasn't in 10 years of marriage, we could probably talk, but I'm too deep in this shit now. Too deep. I've sold
Locked
myself.
in.
Yeah. What am I going to do? Ask you about the weather? This isn't going to be fun.
Oh my God. What's your favorite color? No.
Top or bottom?
Now that we're back from our bathroom break.
Pitcher catcher.
One thing that we've really wanted to talk to you about, Ryan, that you, and I think it was incredibly brave for anyone to bare their soul to a national audience, is talking about your sobriety in All Stars 4. And we wanted to dive a little bit more into that. I know we got a little bit on All Stars, and you were celebrating 90 days, I believe, at that point on the show. Where are you standing at now?
I was. It was 8 months.
8 months.
I was going to
that's
say, it was more than 90 days.
Sorry, I get numbers mixed
No,
up.
I mean,
was-
90 days is a huge milestone
Yes,
in the
it is.
sober
Yes.
community also. It was 8 months. And I was still like a little, like, I wasn't like white knuckling like I was those first 3 months were pretty challenging.
Mhm.
But I don't know, I kind of felt like what greater challenge could there be than doing a reality show that oftentimes revolves around in your off time or downtime, like drinking and hanging out and partying and letting loose. So even though my therapist was like, I don't think it's a great idea, I was like, well, you also didn't think I wouldn't relapse in the first 3 months, and I didn't. So everything just became like competition within myself. You know, I went to Derek Kaczynski's wedding like 5 weeks after I stopped drinking. And my therapist was like, going to be with people that you used to do the show with. Like, it's a wedding. Like, it's probably going to be challenging. And I was like, well, I want to get acclimated with this being my new normal sooner than later. I don't want to put like a Band-Aid on something. I just want to be like an open, gaping wound in life and just see it, because at any given time when you're sober, people respect if you're not comfortable with something, right? It's like the best excuse for me to leave a boring party now is like,
100%.
I'm just like, I can Irish goodbye and it's good. You know, it's like, don't even need an explanation. So, it was kind of a no-brainer. Like, I'm such an open book. I always have been. And I think it was important for me to show people that are trying to get sober, are sober, have a loved one, you know, that's going through it. I just wanted to put a face, a relatable face, and also show that it's not this depressing death sentence.
Yeah.
Because you do grieve. When you let that part of yourself go, there's grief there, because you're like, that was such a huge part of my social life. That's all I did. And for me personally, like, drugs and alcohol from the time I was 14 until I was 41 2 years ago. So it was like, am I going to be funny still? Am I going to be able to hang out late? Like, all these questions and insecurities of like, you feel like you need it. Right? Like it fuels your personality and your energy, and it keeps you like, you know, I'm someone who can have some anxiety issues. I will honestly say, since I stopped drinking, I haven't had a single panic attack, not one.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And I always thought drinking was like helping, like the anxiety, keep it at bay. But quite honestly, it was just a vicious hamster wheel of like the ups and downs. So
Absolutely.
I just wanted people to like see someone that they've known one way, you know. It was like obviously cast as like the young promiscuous party boy, always in a hot tub, always making out with everyone. And I wanted to show people you can still make out in hot bathtubs with strangers without alcohol.
Yeah, 100%.
No, I love that because I think that's such a big thing. Like for me personally, I never, I've never struggled with drugs or alcohol, but I've had a lot of family members that did, and that was a big reason why I never got into it because I saw what it did to people that I loved. But even those people who would end up getting, sober or getting clean, it would then become a fear of like, do people want me around? Am I still fun? Can I still go out? Can I still hang out with these people even when they're drinking and I can't drink? Can I be around them? And I think that like for me, I never saw that happen. Unfortunately, I lost my stepfather who raised me. I lost him to alcohol. And so I never saw kind of that recovery system where you could be sober, be recovered, and still, be around people who are drinking and it be successful. And so I think that's another big thing that you showed is that this is possible. It's possible to get sober and to still have your friends, still go out with your friends and not like feel like you're gonna fail or you're gonna die because you're not drinking or, feel like you're going to drink for sure. I think that you showed that it is possible to recover and to still go out and have fun. And I love that.
Well, and look, I don't want to take away from anyone's type of recovery because my recovery was very different. We talked about the drug earlier. It's what Reno's known for. In my late teens, early 20s. And I figured out, look, I gotta stop doing this shit. Otherwise I'm going to go down a path that I don't really want to go to. And I'm, 2008, 16 years, I think now is where I'm standing.
Congrats.
Thank you. But it's a very...
And honestly, yeah, I battled with that particular drug myself. I lost a year of my life the year after my dad passed. I never thought in a million years. I'd done every other drug and I never thought that was on the table. Mm-hmm. And it only took one moment of grief where I was just having sex with the random guy and he whipped it out. Well, he whipped out a
couple of things.
Double entendre right there.
He whipped out his pipe and a pipe. And I was, it was so easy for me to say yes and like be like, oh, this is no big deal. Mm-hmm. But so this isn't my first time getting sober. That was like, meth was a thing for me. And like, I just went miraculously cold turkey from that. And then ironically, it was alcohol that kind of did me in the end. It was a combination of a lot of things, but obviously I'm just an addict,
And that's what you come to realize.
On the season.
Yeah, and that's what you come to realize with growth and getting clean is that it doesn't matter what the substance is because I know I abuse nicotine now. I mean, it's not to the degree that's going to destroy my life as like meth, but it's still an addiction and I still rely on it. But what I was saying is I don't want to put anyone's, addiction and recovery story down. But when it comes to alcohol, I think there's that added layer of pressure that a majority of the population looks at as a social thing. And when you go out to a bar, people are like, oh, you don't drink. And you're looked at weird. Where if you tell people, oh, no, I don't do meth, they're like, oh, that's great. You know what I mean? So it's a very different thing.
Yes.
Proud of you. Yeah.
And
good for you. You go, Glen Coco.
Yeah.
Oh, you Glen Coco.
But
and there's stigmas attached to different things too. When I came clean with my family about the meth addiction, my mom was like, wait, what is that? Because she's a suburban New Jersey Christian mother. Like that's not even on her radar. But also people have images of like Breaking Bad and like people with no teeth and lesions on their face.
It's not what it is.
I was a highly functioning, working human in New York City. I was a flaky as fuck. And I was like, staying up for days and then sleeping for days. But there were no signs to anyone in my life that I was hiding a substance of that nature. But yeah, I feel like I've had a different substance for a different season of my life. And alcohol was always in the underbelly because it's legal and it's acceptable and it's New York City. And, 90% of my friends do not have addiction problems. So when I would drink with them, they're just drinking like they normally drink and they're not thinking, oh, Ryan's going to go home and polish off a bottle of tequila by himself. So it was a slippery slope. And, I think COVID brought a lot of horrible things, but also I think the biggest blessing was the darkness that I felt. Like it pushed me to my version of rock bottom. And had I not been so depressed and socially isolated, I would not have let the addiction take over, probably. Or it could have happened eventually, I guess. But yeah, honestly, too, like the challenge. All right, this thing's going to squeak. Stop. You go play over there.
Is that a squeaky cannoli?
No, it's a sloth.
Oh, that's even better.
My favorite animal.
That's so cute.
And that's what I was saying is like, I've got so much admiration for yourself and Josh to be able to step away from alcohol because, exactly what we're saying is a lot of people don't have an issue with it and they can do it how they can do it. But, so the societal impulse on it is different. So it takes a lot more willpower and it's a hell of a battle. I'm super proud of both of you guys.
Yeah.
So how far along are you now, Ryan?
I had 2 years, May 31st.
I'm at 448 days.
That's awesome.
Fuck yes.
Yeah. So my thing was, it was April 28th, 2023. We were recording an episode and I just got my medication changed and I shouldn't have been drinking. I hadn't eaten and I drank, Crown and Fireball.
Yeah.
And we were recording and I said some not so nice things to one of our fellow hosts. And I didn't realize anything until like when Britt called me like the next day. They re-recorded the episode. I apologized over and over again. I just reached out to them and apologized again and said I was going to be talking about it. And I had no self-control when it came to alcohol. I just ended a 22-year relationship. My dad and grandpa just passed away like a year or two before that. I was living in a hotel.
Oh, wow.
And I stopped drinking after that, like cold turkey. Those first couple weeks sucked.
Yeah.
And it's just knowing what I did without knowing it at the time was just scary for me and almost lost podcast and a friendship.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not worth it. And yeah, I still go out. I still hang out with my friends. The places that I go to know to only serve me Sprite.
Yeah.
So that's the only places I go. And I'm still able to hang out with everybody and have fun. And I think I have more fun now.
Diet Coke.
Oh my God,
baby.
I should have grabbed one.
No, I'm telling you, like me.
Right, this is Mountain Dew, just so y'all know.
We trust
That's
you.
almost as bad as meth, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Is this
You're
water
such a
or is
hater.
this
That's like
vodka?
liquid
We
meth
don't
you're
know.
drinking, baby.
I tried saying earlier when we were talking about sugar. Sugar's my next thing.
You're
I
gonna
just,
start glowing in the dark, Josh.
I just lost 90 pounds, and I know I'm going to lose more once I quit drinking soda.
I'm going to have to taste your urine later.
From the tap?
Look at us making connections. That's what
You in Portland, bitch.
I changed my shirt too. I had to pull a Ryan.
Oh my God. I feel like I should change my shirt.
I know. Should I change?
I just wanted to.
Just be topless, Katie.
It would look no different than when you had your shirt off. So no one would know. My husband yells at me all the time if I'm walking around the house naked. He's like, "Someone's gonna see you." I'm like, "Oh, what? They're gonna be like, oh, a 12-year-old little boy." It's fine. Everything's fine.
See, that's the perks of not having kids. Like, I want to walk around my house naked all the time, but we got 3 kids. Like,
Fuck,
that shit
man.
never happens.
Yeah.
I can't even get out of my shower in our room to our bedroom without one of our kids being in our room. Like, dude, get the fuck out. I need to get dressed.
Yeah, I can't either.
I greatly apologize, but I have to go. Ryan, thank you so much. I'm proud of you. I'm going to continue
proud of you,
talking
Josh.
to you, and you're stuck with me for life, just like I told Tina. So,
people,
I'm proud of you.
Love you,
I'm
brother.
proud of you guys. Love you guys.
If you need a sober sounding board, you can always reach out to me beyond
Thank
the
you so
challenge.
much.
Fandom, yeah.
You're such
For
an
sure.
amazing person. When I first started talking to you, I was just like, he's cool as fuck.
Thanks, babe.
Well, all
Well,
right,
I-
Josh.
All right, Josh, we
I'll
love
see
you,
you later,
brother.
buddy.
Bye.
All right, bye.
I thought he'd never leave.
Going back to a lighter subject, I did see your story. Someone asked you, it was like Coke or Pepsi. You're like, it's Diet Coke, bitch. And I'm like, that's fucking right. It is, Ryan. Good call.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yes.
good call.
Yes.
I don't want to talk about the
Facts.
35 pack we have out in our garage fridge right now. Just waiting.
I know. I should have grabbed one on our break.
Yeah, you fucked up on that one.
I did.
So one thing I did want to ask is, and look, I don't want to lead you to talk shit about production, but maybe it's better that 40 was recorded recently and we're already getting it, because it seems like when production has a year to edit All Stars 4, somehow they still screw the pooch on the storyline. Like we noticed, for instance, the Laurel Cara fight was completely out of order. As far as that scene where Laurel's like kind of having an event session to Cara. And then the very next scene they're fighting, but they're wearing the same clothes that they wore in the elimination. That was 2 days after that.
It
was all fucked up. So hopefully we get
I think they think we don't pay attention to outfits, but it's like the number one thing that we pay attention to keep everything in line of if they're actually showing us stuff in the order it happened, is we're like, what are they wearing?
Yeah.
What are they wearing? How many times do the outfits changes?
I'm usually like shirtless for that reason. I think there'll be
That's
a
fair.
lot. There'll be very little clothing. Vietnam was so fucking hot and miserably hot all the time. So a lot of us were by the pool at all times because that was our only refuge.
Good. It's about time, because they did what, 3 cold seasons back to back to back recently. And it was literally misery. I was like, this isn't fun to watch. I want to watch them half naked, laying around the pool, doing dumb shit. Like that's what we want to see. We don't want to see you bundled up in Yes, exactly. We don't want to see you guys bundled up in fucking 17 layers because you're playing in the snow. That's not fun to watch.
You're saying that because CT was on those seasons.
He was, yes, and it was not fun to watch him bundled up in 17 layers.
Well, CT is not rocking shirtless looks right now, but he'll be back, I'm sure.
I know. He's got his father figure, and I still love it. I'm fine with it.
Oh, yeah. He's still handsome.
Yeah.
I mean,
he could do no wrong.
He's a good looking guy. I'm straight. I don't mind saying it. He's a good looking guy. Yeah.
You see the hearts in Karina's eyes.
No, he's very handsome, and actually, like, I very much enjoyed his presence on 40.
Good.
Yeah, he's definitely, I mean, I've seen all the sides of him on the seasons we've done. And he was like kind of a gentleman and like kind of the voice of reason. That was nice. It was refreshing.
Yeah, I just happened to look down at your list of seasons and realized that you were there for Duel 2.
I was the one like holding DM down on the ground because she kept trying to get in the middle, and they're like, Ryan, keep DM out of this. And so I'm literally pinning her on the ground while he's like exposing Adam King's brain on this driveway. It was pretty scary.
Oh my God.
Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
It's still to this day, just looking at the clips, it's like they won't even put that episode, they won't even put it on Paramount.
They shouldn't, probably.
They don't. It starts at episode 2.
It was scary in real time, because I honestly thought it was going to end in potential like death. Like it was that kind of rage.
He shouldn't have been there. He shouldn't have even been on that season.
No, they should not have cast him that soon after his brother.
No.
And if he wanted to, he would have. I mean, it's not like there was a lot of security or PA that was going to stop him at that point.
I feel like there's much more security and stuff these days than there used to be.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I mean,
Yes.
they have to with Josh being on the seasons all now because he just pisses everybody off. I fucking love Josh, but you know, I'm a Big Brother fan.
I have love for him too, but he gets a lot of shit from the viewers, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he does.
Oh, the viewers hate him. The viewers hate Josh.
Oh, God. And he's so much more reserved on the challenge than he was on Big Brother. Like Big Brother, he was running around slamming pots together to piss people off. You know, he's so much more reserved, but
Look at Josh.
Oh, you'll see some of that.
I hope so.
Like,
I hope so.
you'll see not pots and pans, but he loves an
Craziness.
audience.
Oh,
loves
he
an
does.
audience.
And going back, like I know we were talking, we jump all over the place because
Oh, yeah, sorry.
we're not professionals by any
We have
means.
no direction here.
Yeah.
We're all ADD. It's the beauty of editing.
I know I have questions I still want to ask. We scrolled past it so far. I was like, I won't forget.
No.
I won't forget.
Does it involve the Vampire Diaries?
No, it didn't. It was a real question. It would bring content for all.
Well, fuck, I don't want to hold you back now, Katie.
Katie, shoot your shit.
I feel like this is like wah wah wah. I just want to know about your production journey. Like, did you start in production before you got on the challenge, or was it after and you were like, oh, I like this, I want to dip my toe in?
It was after. I kind of like, for the 5 seasons I did in my 20s, I kind of like had a, just being around it, like I knew the protocol. I didn't necessarily want to work in reality. So when I work on a job now, I'm a coordinator, and it's like
cool.
a 10-hour day or 12-hour day with overtime. I'm freelance, so I work for different production companies. But this is what I do now is like advertising. So we're shooting like sometimes models, sometimes a car, sometimes a bag of chips. And it's like way more like scheduled reality. When I did work in reality as a producer, and that's like you get a salary and no overtime. They own you.
Oh.
It's like I would never, and God bless you guys, Buna Murray, the hours and the blood, sweat, and tears that I really, really empathize. That's why I'm always nice to production. I actually filmed Cyndi Lauper had a reality show.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it was called She's So Unusual. I was like an associate producer on that, and I thought it was going to be like the gayest, wettest dream of my life.
Yeah.
And she was horrible.
Oh, no.
Horrible. And were you
Worst
a fan
celebrity.
of hers before?
Yes. I mean, like,
That's so sad.
Yeah. So I took the job without even like interviewing. It was offered to me with another producer I worked on the show before. And I was like, yes, Cyndi Lauper, sign me up. And that was 6 months of my life I'll never get back. But I learned so much about production. It was like pushing me in the deep end with no floaties. So yeah, I actually try to keep it under wraps. It's that particular show, especially because it was fresh. I think I had done my last challenge like 6 months prior. I didn't want anyone to know that I was on the show because I wanted to be taken seriously as a producer. And somebody must have Googled me like right before the wrap party, because when I came into our studio office, they had blown up pictures of me in various hot tubs making out with people, and it was plastered all over the walls. And I guess everyone was like so excited to like bust my balls about it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I'm more than that. I'm not just a whore.
See, that's the 2 stages of life, right? When you fight being a whore, and then you understand that you just are a whore.
You just are.
It is what it is. And you
And
accept
now I
it.
want to be a whore again. I want to be a whore.
Yeah. You accept it. You're good with that part of your life. Yeah.
Katie, help me be a whore again. I'm ready.
I've been wanting to come to New York City for other reasons. So, I'll have to get there eventually. I'll come be your wing woman.
Katie, you have a place to stay. I have a small, humble 1-bedroom, but you can stay. I live alone. Just me in
Thank
Dublin.
you. I will cuddle with both of you.
Okay.
Oh, yay.
Deal.
People helping people. It's a beautiful thing.
Love it. Love it.
See, the downside of Reno, it's like no one's like, hey, you know what? I'm going to be going to Reno soon. Nobody wants to come out here.
Nobody says that.
Yeah. No.
Are you both born and raised in Reno?
I was born here, but I was raised all over the country. I've lived in Mississippi, Las Vegas, LA, San Francisco. So
Yeah, I was born and raised. I've traveled around a little bit, but born and raised here.
it was
You
one of the.
don't seem Reno-ish, either of you.
Oh, we try not to. We try to.
I say hella a lot in my normal life, and that's a giveaway. But otherwise,
Yeah, but that's very California. That's not necessarily Reno.
Well, I mean, I'm not walking around with a meth pipe and a prostitute with me all the time, and that's what screams Reno.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Yeah, I've evolved. All right.
Always remember your humble beginnings,
Look, you got to crawl before you walk. And that's really what it boils down to.
Oh my God.
I give mine to just my mom. Love her to death. She was probably not ready to be a single mom. No woman is.
Yeah.
And she did her best, but we moved around a lot. So I experienced a lot of different cultures and different types of ways of life. You know, going from LA to Biloxi, Mississippi is a culture shock if I've ever seen one.
Oh, that's huge. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Story time on that.
it'd be the equivalent of you going from New York and having to live in Reno. It would be fucking horrible. You know what I mean?
Tough transition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, it's that, and I think we just try not to be hicks is the most important part.
Yeah.
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 I don't get hick. No hick vibes from you guys.
Oh, good.
Well, thank
That's
you.
good. I'm glad it's working.
Yeah.
Keep it up.
They'll never know.
I'm really intuitive, so I know I can smell a hick a mile away.
Who's gonna know? No one's gonna know.
Nobody's gonna know.
We gotta go now before you start reading us anymore.
I know. I'm starting to feel like how I felt when I was on with Sarah. I started to get nervous. I was like, please stop reading me like a therapist, Sarah. We're done. We got to get off this call now.
Show me the bottom of your feet.
Taking in too much calcium there. That's what that tells me.
Me
Oh
too.
my God. Wow. That's funny.
Ryan, one thing I always kind of am curious on, because with the seasons that you've done, we've talked about how iconic they are, whether they are iconic like top 5 or iconically bad like The Island. But they are iconic nonetheless. Are there any seasons that you've seen or gone back and looked at and been like, fuck, I really wish I would have been on this. This would have been a great season for me.
Okay, I honestly, truly have not watched any of the seasons that I'm not on. So I missed half the challenges. All Stars I started watching, but I didn't even watch 39. Like,
Gotcha.
yeah, I know it's bad. I should, right? I mean,
no.
I don't know how much longer I'll be back in the mix, but I should, because I was a fan of the show. So I should become a fan of watching seasons I'm not on. But just based on like knowing every season, like the name of it and the premise, I think I would have loved to do Bloodlines.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Who would you have picked to go?
My sister, who just left today,
Oh.
she is like the athlete of the family. Like
Okay.
she is competitive. Like her and her husband had to sign a contract when they first got married that they cannot play Risk together, the board game, because they almost broke their engagement because she's such a sore loser. No joke. No joke.
That's great. I love it.
Yeah. So she's just like an athlete. Like she wouldn't engage in any of like the bullshit drama, but like she would break someone's leg trying to wrestle a ball.
I can appreciate
That's
that.
amazing. Oh, that would have been-
phenomenal.
And
That would've
she's
been
still,
so
I
good.
mean, she's almost 50, but she's like, hey, listen, if they do a Bloodlines, she's like, and she goes to the gym every day. Still, I mean, she's a mom, she's 2 teenagers, but yeah, Bloodlines would have been really fun to bring her into the mix. And then Ride or Dies. I feel like I have more Ride or Dies than I do. What are those called?
Rivals.
Thank you.
Rivals, there we
Thank
go.
you.
Words
Yeah.
are hard. Words
Yeah.
are hard.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I would love to see you and Derek work together as partners in the season. I mean,
They
you guys
need
already
to-
work together,
yeah.
but to actually be partnered up, I mean,
Yeah.
you
Like
know,
a same-sex Ride or Dies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I want
like
to
how
see that.
Bloodlines was.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, oh, it would be so good. It would be so good.
I do like the idea of doing a fresh meet too, but not with like current players. It has to be players from like era 2 who are in either fresh meet 1 or fresh meet 2 to kind of like mentor the newer players along. I think that would be fucking tits.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I would love that.
Keep putting those ideas into the ether, because I honestly do think that they come up with things for the next season because they're listening to us talk all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I guarantee that like producers have heard us say, oh, they should do blah, blah, blah. And then like the next season, they're like, we're going to do blah, blah, blah. You know, they listen all the time and we're mic'd all the time. So
Yeah.
I think we're actually writing future seasons.
Yeah.
As we're fantasizing about what they should do.
Yeah, I agree. I think that production listens, and I think they listen to the cast, and I also think that they listen to the fans. A lot more than people give them credit for, as far as like maybe not necessarily like, oh, we fucking hate this or whatever, but and just for an example, and I can't even say for sure that it happened, but we've been talking about this exact format for season 40. Best of the best, eras versus eras, old school versus new school. We've been talking about it for over 3.5 years since we started our podcast. And now here's season 40, the exact theme that we've been begging for 3 years. And they're finally doing it. And we're like, holy shit, do they actually pay attention to the fans more than we think that they do? Yeah. And I think that they kind of do, you know? So I do. I think that they pay attention to the cast. I think they pay attention to the fan. And who was it that we, oh my gosh, what was it? It was like Spies Lies. Josh was talking about Christmas or something or another, and then production started talking to her. Like, they listen. They listen.
Yeah. Oh,
do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And he was saying, like, he was talking to somebody else on set about a girl that he played Big Brother with. And then the next thing they know, production was then reaching out to that girl to see if she was interested to come on. You know what I mean? So they listen.
Well, even when we talked to Nelson was like, they'll listen to podcasts just to see what fans are kind of basing their thoughts on. Yeah. And that's why we try not to be like, hey, you know what, talk shit about production for the next 20 minutes. You know? Because, but also going back to what you're saying, like, I don't hold it against you not watching any of the challenges that you're not on, because I wouldn't want to watch anything about my work when I wasn't getting paid to do it.
Yeah.
No. It makes sense to
me.
me.
I think in the beginning, I didn't watch it because you are salty. You know, you do have an expiration date. There's always a younger, newer, whatever your thing is. And that's just the way that the cycle of the show is, you know, and nothing is ever promised. But doing 5 seasons in 5 years and then like feeling dropped, like you go through like a hangover, like a reality hangover. And it's not even like jealousy, but it's sadness. For me, I felt sad to not be invited back initially because I loved doing them so much. And certain like friends of mine that were like, I was close to, I lived with Paula still at the time when I stopped getting called. And she, you know, I didn't even necessarily want to like hear about how her time was on the show, because I was like, that just like sucks. Like, it's FOMO for sure.
It hurts your feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then also it was like, for me, that was like, they cut me loose. Like, when I look at the trajectory of the past 15 years, everything that's transpired, I'm so grateful that they stopped calling me.
Yeah.
And there was a reason my family didn't watch any of my seasons, because they didn't think the show was healthy for me.
Right.
And quite honestly, in my 20s, my early 20s and mid 20s, it was an excuse to have Peter Pan syndrome.
Yeah.
And not grow up, not have a 9-to-5, not like it prolonged the inevitability of having to like grow up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now, full circle, like my family watched All Stars 4, first season they ever saw. I don't even think my mom knew what the name of the show I was on was, honestly. Yeah, no, I mean, she was proud of me. And like when I would get recognized out in public, she'd be like, oh, that's so cool. But she knew that it was not feeding a healthy part of me back in the day. Now it's like,
it's the complete opposite.
I got sober after seeing myself on TV. I found out that I was diabetic from doing the blood work to do All Stars 4.
Which is wild.
Yeah.
Like, at no clue your whole life. And isn't that the diabetes that, like, it's genetic, like you're born with it?
Usually.
Yeah, type 1.
Usually type 1. They didn't know which type I was until recently. I finally got the right endocrinologist. But there's like 60 different kinds of diabetes. They just group it either 1 or 2. Like you're born with it / develop it early on, or you develop it later on.
Okay.
But I was like kind of a 1.5, because they're like, you're really thin. Like there's no obesity happening, and it's not genetic in your family. So it's very confusing. But
that's so wild.
Yeah, I probably had it since I was like in my early 20s and just not known.
That's crazy.
But I would not have gotten that blood work done had I not had to get it done for the show. And they didn't let me compete until I saw a specialist. So, and like the good things that have come out doing the show the past 3 years have been like insane.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm doing it for the right reason. And I'm enjoying it. Like,
Good.
it's not a big fucking blurry hangover.
Yeah.
And I'm also
Yeah.
like playing to fucking win or make it to the end. Like, I'm not there to get on TV. I've done that. Like, it's cool. It's fun. But like, I just appreciate everything. You just have more gratitude when you get older,
Oh, hell
Appreciate the total experience of what it is too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If I'm sure you're going to be doing plenty of interviews here in the next few months as 40 comes out. I'm pretty sure there's a few cast members that have podcasts. If you talk to them like bananas and you want to hear a funny diabetes story, ask them about Kyle on Vendettas.
Oh my God.
Oh, he told me about
told you?
hiding the insulin.
Yeah, up his ass, running up
his
the
ass.
Rock
Up
of
his ass.
Gibraltar.
And he had to run up the Rock of Gibraltar, 48-hour run, like running and then sleeping overnight and then running up the rest of the.
That's dedication.
That's dedication. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I get it though, because back in the day, like they wouldn't let you compete probably with it. I don't think. Like now, it's just nothing is like a death sentence necessarily. They just want you to like handle it and have, they didn't let me compete on All Stars 2 until I got approved by an endocrinologist. So, as long as you're like taking care of yourself and like you're not dying on their watch. Yeah.
No, and it definitely is that. We see that with like Theo, like with the injury he had. If he would have had that injury 10 seasons ago, his career would have been done with the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I did want to go back to, because you brought it up, was the fact that you and Paula were roommates, and we are all huge Paula fans here.
Love
I fucking love
the
her
best.
so much. Oh my God.
Are you still in touch with her?
Yes. I mean, like very minimally. She's got 3 kids. She's been sober for almost 10 years. So she kind of started that trend, and she walked away from the show in the peak of them. They'd still be calling her for every season. But for her, it was life or death.
Yeah.
Like she got pregnant. It wasn't planned the first one. Obviously, she married her husband and they have 2 more kids after that. But I think her pregnancy was the best thing that ever happened to her.
Yeah.
Because 100%. She always wanted to be a mom. She literally never touched alcohol ever again. The second she found out she was pregnant, it was like a switch and a light bulb. And she had already had an amazing trajectory on the challenge, from going from where she started to winning and like really like stepping up. And like, it was amazing to see her walk away.
And that's when we talk about is like, obviously with the eras, like Paula's a huge miss, but it's a great reason why she's never coming back.
Oh yeah,
and 100% supporting, because you see the pictures of her online that she posts occasionally of her and her family, and you see a level of happiness that you never saw with her on the challenge, even winning money.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I will forever remember the one time that I've spoken to Paula. We had been doing like a questionnaire or something like that on our Instagram stories, where it was like, what challenger would you like to see return? And one of the answers was Paula. And so I put up some pictures of Paula and tagged her in it and was like, dude, we would love to see Paula back. She was always one of my favorites. Love her, whatever. And, we would love to interview Paula. I had said something like that. And she replied to the story on Instagram and, wrote like a big old like book, pretty much a short novel, thanking us for all the love and support, and said, she was like, you guys will never understand what it means to me. Unfortunately, I'm at a place in my life where that's not part of my life anymore. And I can't let it be part of my life. And I don't want it to be part of my life. But I still want you guys to know like how much I appreciate the love, the support,
she does.
Just you know what I mean? And so
she means every bit of that, because there is a part of her that would love in a perfect world be able to win both ways, have her family, her sobriety, and also be back on the show. And quite honestly, she's in the best shape of her life. I think she could be one of the top contenders, easy. But
Absolutely.
for her, it's life or death.
Yes.
Yeah.
If she chooses the show, it is the potential to crumble everything that she has built. And it's life or death, you know? For me, and everyone's sobriety is different. Like we said earlier, it's like not everyone can go to a wedding 6 weeks after they're sober and not feel like tense or like not, you know, everyone's journey is different. For me, the challenge kind of like saved my life, I want to say, like this time around.
Right.
Whereas it was probably not the best idea for me if I look, you know, but for Paula, it's just life or death and she chooses life. So.
Yeah. And I think it's just, it's perfect. It's beautiful. She went out, you know, if you're going to quit, you know, a show like The Challenge, the way that she went out on top as a champion, like as a 2-time champion, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way you go out. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And the fact that she can see, because I see like, you know, she follows challengers and different people that she's known from the show and stuff on it. So she sees these posts. She follows certain fan pages. Shoot, she follows us. So she sees all these challenge posts and stuff. And I could imagine how difficult it would be to, you know, see that and still want to do it, but still make that choice for you and for your children and for your family and the life that you built that you chose to have. And I just think it's just such a beautiful story. And so like, it makes me love Paula even more that she won't come back.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, I love you even more for that now. Like,
That hard boundary. We love.
I love a woman with boundaries. Get it, girl. Yeah.
Yeah, she's one of the, like, sober Paula is one of the funniest, wittiest, brilliant minds. I mean, quite honestly, for the 4 years we lived together, we were ride or dies. Like, that was my best friend in life. And granted, a lot of that time spent was belligerent and blackout and, you know, a rotating door of different cast members staying with us at our apartment and debauchery and all the things. And I think we came into each other's lives at that time period for a reason, because there's so much love and respect, but it's also probably triggering for her to look at any of my challenge related posts. Like, she doesn't look at my stories. She doesn't like any pictures unless it's like just me and family or like, you know,
Right.
I think she has to like keep that far away from her.
Yeah.
100%.
She has to protect herself and like her family too.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not like all of Challenge fans are great people, you know,
No.
online. You know what I mean? Like, and that's my thing with like Cara. Like, I have nothing against Cara. I can't stand Cara's stands. They drive me up
her
a
fans
fucking
are the
wall.
worst.
But and that's kind of, you know, going in a wholly different subject. But there we are.
No, they are like, they need to be exercised. They are passion of the Christ.
And not all of them, but there's a dialed in group that, you know, very much use like the bullying tactics and, you know, when you don't agree or, you know, and so it makes it
what they were saying to fucking Derek after All Stars 4. And it's like, dude, get a fucking grip.
Literally made me sick to my stomach. I was like, come on, guys, leave him alone. That's, you know, and the thing is it's like, I don't see the point in attacking somebody while you're saying you're representing somebody else. And that's not something that Cara would ever stay. Like, it bugs me.
It doesn't go with Cara's actual personality.
Yeah. And she'd never put a stamp of approval on her fans bullying a fellow cast member because of something that happened on the show. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, that's not Cara. And so, you know, it's like, come on, guys, like, let's just not. Let's just not bully cast members, okay?
I know. Well, I'm not so concerned about the other fans because I'm sure when this airs, they'll be coming. They'll be coming.
There will be blood.
See, and it's funny because as we evolve, even in this podcast, my goals have changed. Like, I really don't care about now. I want to talk to Rachel. We've talked to Tina. I want to talk to Rachel and Veronica. especially after All Stars 4, because I fell in love with Veronica watching that challenge you guys did together. I believe you guys were working together, where you had to grab the bag, walk the plank, and grab the bag, and she never
so
fucking
hard.
quit.
Never. I love her so much.
She jumped every single time.
Yep. She did every single challenge we did. And obviously, like, height was an issue on certain things. And she, man, I like tenacity and she just does it. You know, she's like the old school mentality. Like, you don't DQ, you don't not do something, or you die trying. And she was a surprising friendship that blossomed from All Stars 4. We talk pretty regularly, and she doesn't talk on the phone very often. But I love Veronica. I didn't used to.
No. I was going to say, I was literally about to say, like, Rachel, Tina, Veronica. I didn't like any of them in the earlier seasons. I was like, they're mean girls. They're bullies. All they do is fuck with Tanya and make fun of Beth for being fat when she's not fat at all. Like, you know, like, but them, Tina on, what was it? Was it All Stars 2? Was that the one where I fell in love with her?
And 3.
Where she flipped upside down in the swing. She was just so funny. And I was like, oh, this Tina. I like this Tina. And then I met her. She's amazing.
So authentically exactly the same. Like, she's just her. Yeah. There's no one like her.
And then Veronica, it was All Stars 4 on this one that I kept saying it. And all throughout our recaps, I was like, I actually kind of like Veronica now. And everybody was like, are you crazy? What's happening to you, Karina? I was like, I don't know.
There was one day she said something nice and I was like, what did you just say?
Yeah, Katie was like, are you okay? Did you say something nice about Veronica? I was like, I did.
When I broke my shoulder and I knew it was fucked up, but I refused to get an x-ray, I was crying because it was day 5. I was so excited to compete sober and so proud to be there. And then that freak injury happened on the water slide. And I literally I made the cameras leave the room because I was like, I just need space. She came in and she held my hand silently and I was bawling my eyes out, partially pain, but I can take pain. It was more like, I can't believe this injury happened. And
this way,
like, I wasn't ready to go home. I was like, I've come so far, like, what the fuck? And she just, like, fucking held my hand and let me cry and listen. And just like,
those are the best friends.
Yeah.
Right there.
And, you know, Veronica has lost her brother. And there was some sort of connection that was brother-sister that transpired in that moment. And I just feel so much love for that girl. She's so cool.
That's so cool.
And she's hilarious. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And I think that's what one of my favorite things about All Stars is like you said, the evolution. Like, because I remember Veronica from Semester at Sea. You know what I mean? Where Ayana accused her of stealing her paper. And like, dude, that got me really into Road Rules for a while because it was so different. Yeah. And then, I mean, to be honest, remember being 16 watching Rachel and Darrell and Kendall and Shane. And I had the biggest fucking crush on Rachel, even though I know she had nothing to do with dick.
She is a sexy human.
Oh my God, yeah.
I'm a gay man and I look at her and I'm like, can you just like be in a bikini all the time?
Can you just leave some room for the rest of us? I don't know.
Yes. I know. Thank God she's happily married with kids because she needs to be off the market with that body.
Facts. Yes.
Oh my God. It's just, just seeing the evolution of them and then seeing the evolution of other players as well. Like, and then seeing the comebacks of like having Kifla, you know, it was such a crazy dynamic and you know, I really enjoy it. And it is that nostalgia of the older seasons minus the debauchery to a degree.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that kind of leads me into my next question for you, Ryan, is like, are you more apt to do another All-Star season or a flagship season?
Ooh, yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, it's so not up to me.
But let's say it is.
If it was up to you,
I would do both.
Yeah.
I would do both well into my 50s. Honestly, I feel the best that I've ever felt in my life. I don't have the same insecurities that I had in my 20s. I just know who I am and I have fun with it. And I you'll see on 40. I think everyone is used to seeing the softer side of Sears with me, but I definitely didn't hesitate to retaliate when backed into a corner, and I don't think people are used to seeing me run shit or run myself at least.
It's gonna get spicy.
Yeah,
I like it. I'm excited.
Yeah, and I don't, I'm not trying to be like, anything. I'm not this insecure little gay boy that is going to let misogynistic, like, alpha men run the game and toss me a little scrap of meat if I play by their rules. It's like, go fuck yourself, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like 20 years of like doing these shows. Like, it's not my first rodeo. And also, like, you should be afraid, buddy.
Yeah.
Look, I'm going to be honest.
Who's afraid of little old me?
I like this because we got to see how big of a competitor you and Derek both were on All Stars 4.
With a shattered clavicle.
I was just gonna say, and with a shattered shoulder.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. And then knowing you're doing all that with a shattered shoulder, it's like you guys were probably the two toughest competitors on there, in my opinion.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Honestly, like,
absolutely.
We kind of rotated the first half of the season. I was in the middle group, so I kept Derek safe. And then my injury just kept getting like more and more. And then he was in either winning or in the middle group. So we kind of like passed the torch to each other, I guess you could say.
Well, I have a question. The bruise that you had on your arm, was that the arm of your broken clavicle?
Oh,
so was it from that, or was it from the challenge? Or we don't know. It was from all of the things.
It surfaced a day after the shattered clavicle. I had that bruise for a year.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I thought it was from that water challenge, the trivia where you guys got yanked off.
Do I still have anything? No. There was still like bruise. It spread my chest. It like dissipated throughout my arm for a long time. And so when I saw the x-ray, finally, when I got back to the States, and I was like, is it fractured? And surgeon was like, fractured? Like, we have to pick bone fragments out of your shoulder. You should not have competed with that. I was like, oopsie.
That's what do you want me to say? You know what I mean? I like to toot my own horn, but toot too, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
YOLO. Oh my gosh, that's crazy though. Yeah.
So to answer your question, I would do the flagship over again for sure, and I would do either. And if anything, the flagship is a little more challenging as far as like your athleticism. Right. And doing it after like having a healed shoulder on 40, I was like, oh, I can still hang. I can still hang.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard and it's not fun, but it's fun after when you're like, I did that.
It's the accomplishment of like, I still got it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I really only have like 2 more questions that I walked in knowing I wanted to talk to you about. And kind of a preview for season 40, because I'm sure we're going to be releasing this right around when it comes out. Is going into the house with such a large dynamic of cast from new school, like only done 2 seasons, like an Olivia, a Nerys, to being on there with Bananas and CT and Anissa, who all have 15, 20 plus seasons under their belt. Did you walk into it with a preconceived notion of someone that changed where you become, I wouldn't say best friends where you're talking, but if you saw them, you would consider them a friend?
Yes. Yeah. I had met Olivia at like a challenge event, and it was situational, and it was the people that came with her to the event that I judged her based on who she was hanging with. And just put that in the back of my brain, like, okay, that's who she is. And I was like, we had a week in the hotel before we started filming, which was, I don't think their intention, but we had to film like promo stuff and whatever. So we all got to get to know each other. And normally, if we're doing a hotel beforehand, they don't want us to interact because they want that to be on camera and be part of the show. But they let us like come in and out of our rooms. So her and I just hit it off, and like to the point where I think we're almost the same person. I literally love that girl so much. I literally thought she was like an idiot, like beautiful, but I'm like, oh my God, she's totally Love Island. Just like, you know, like just she's got so much love and heart, and she's such a good person. So I would say like Olivia's like become one of my closest friends, to be honest. I might go to Mexico to visit her and Theo next week.
Yay!
Oh, that'd be
That's
awesome.
so cool.
Yeah,
my
so I was
follow-up.
blown away by that.
Yeah, my follow-up was, when is this Arizona connection going to happen for you with you, Derek, and Olivia? I mean, because it feels like that love triangle isn't quite complete. It's more obtuse than acute. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's the thing too, is like they lived in Arizona at the same time for years. Derek didn't meet Olivia until maybe like a month before I met Olivia. So like that's a new friend, but she's actually moving to Nashville in a month. Like she got a house there. So she is saying goodbye to Arizona after 12 years.
Yeah.
Look, shout out to anybody in Arizona dealing with 120 fucking degrees every day. I couldn't do
brutal.
it. Yeah, look, I'm not built for that. I'm obviously of Nordic descent. Give me cold weather.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
No, I love that though. Olivia, I really like Olivia, and she is a fucking badass. Her,
Hell yeah.
I won't do it to you, but
Don't bring it up.
I won't bring it up. I won't say it.
I don't care.
I won't say it.
Say it. Do it.
Oh, I thought you were going with something else. I got it.
What were
Okay.
you going with?
Oh,
I thought you were going to bring up the injury.
That's what I was
And
going
I
to
was
bring
like,
up. Yeah.
okay.
So that's why I said I won't bring it up, because I know
We also bonded over the fact that we broke things on the show and kept going. Like she's badass like that.
Oh, I still cannot believe like just how close she was to things being so different. And the fact that she wanted to keep running the final. I was like, no, girl, go to the hospital.
They're built different in Alaska. I mean,
That girl catches salmon in her hoo-ha. Are you kidding?
well, she's with Theo now, so
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Talk about blessed. I've seen pics.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
Olivia
Then. Get
is
it,
kinda
Olivia.
like a gay man. Olivia's a gay man in a beautiful woman's body. Like she is just the raw, real deal.
She is a sweetheart though, and you can tell she's from Alaska because two things. Once I saw her at that Challenge Mania, I saw pictures of her, and it was like December in Indianapolis, and she's walking around in shorts and like a t-shirt, like it was
like a tank top.
I was like, that's fucking wild. But secondly, typically a woman that is famous from being on television and is as beautiful as Olivia is not talking to random dudes on Instagram.
No.
And I sent her a message just randomly saying, we fucking love you on this season of the show. And even though it says it in my name, like I don't think it did at the time, she fucking replied right away. She's like, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And we've talked back and forth a couple times, and she's just a down to earth sweetheart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Very, very generous, very kind. Like I wound up staying with her for the second week I was in Arizona, which wasn't planned, but we just vibed really well. But she's just like, oh, if you need to use my car, here's my keys. Oh, and if you need a set of house keys to my apartment, like, you know, like she's just like shirt off your back kind of person.
That's so cool. I love her.
Isn't she the one that had the Taylor Swift inspired B&B?
Yes.
She doesn't have it, but there's one in Arizona she goes to.
She went to. Okay.
Yeah.
I creeped so hard.
I know. I want to go so bad.
Yeah. I'm there.
And fun fact, the girl can sing like country, like she could be a signed country singer artist. When she sang on the bus for the first time, and she wasn't singing to be like, I'm singing, listen to me. She was just, we were listening to music on the bus on the way to a challenge. And I like looked at her and I was like,
you can sing.
How dare you? How, like, what? You're so being humble about that? Like I think Nashville is perfect for her.
How dare you look like that and sound like that at the same time? What are we doing? This is not fair.
It's like God just pouring talent and looks into her cup, just holding it, and then like the few drops over
None
for
for the
Rick.
rest of you.
There you
She
go.
must have an ugly clitoris.
Looks like an undersized
Too
dick.
good to be true.
Sorry, I've watched Clerks 2 way too much.
Yes.
I can quote that all day.
Oh, that's amazing.
You're telling me you don't want an oversized clit? No, because the next step is an undersized dick. So there you go. Yeah. See, that's how you can tell what generation you're from, is if you can quote movie lines instead of memes.
Instead of memes. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Speaking of music and scene, this is I forgot this question, but I do want to ask this. We try to do, when we put out your episode and put out the artwork for it, and I'll send it to you so you can take a look, because I want your approval on whatever we put out there. We like to put a song with it. And typically it's like either your theme song or like a song that you would listen to get hyped up for an elimination, whichever you would choose. Do you have one off the top of your head, or is it something you'd have to think about for a little bit?
I mean, always Work Bitch, but I've used it so much. Brittany, Work Bitch.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
I don't want to, beat the dead horse. Let me think.
I mean, from what you're telling me on like Challenge 40, it's like I almost want to use one of those Taylor Swift songs you guys like, but that might not be
You
a
just
good
don't
fit.
know any of them.
No, I would rely on you solely.
He
That's like when it
says he
comes
doesn't
to
know. He knows.
Are you ready for it? Taylor Swift or Bang Bang, Ariana Grande,
Bang, bang. Oh, I love that
good
song
choice.
so much.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Oh.
or Lose Control, Missy Elliott?
Oh.
You know what? Just because of the millennial in me, I might just make that one work. Sorry, I might have to make that one work.
Music make you lose control. Music makes you lose.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I got a cute face, chubby waist, big legs in shape. Yeah.
Talk about like talk about like aging backwards and seeing her pictures now compared to what she was when we were in like.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, she looks like younger now, which is wild. But,
Yeah. Nuts.
So one thing I always ask every challenger that we have on, and I think you, especially seeing this season and your experience in the older seasons, brings a lot of reference into there that some people are missing, especially newer fans, is if you were going to name a Mount Rushmore, like 4 men, 4 women, who would your Mount Rushmore be?
Men and women separately.
Yeah, I think it's fair to do that way.
Chill out. Well, you're about to have your first head because I'm about to fucking.
Well deserved too. Well deserved after what
Well earned.
especially watching what they could do on the cardboard. I don't know. I'm lost. I'm lost.
I got lost too. I didn't know what you were saying to me.
You got lost in your wife's eyes. It's fine.
All the time.
That Portuguese glare.
Yeah. She sets me up though sometimes for glory. She's like, she went shopping. She's like, "Hey, did you see these this cantaloupe and this watermelon and these melons?"
I said, "Did you see the melons I got at the store today?" And he goes, "Yeah, I see them every day." I was like, "God damn it!" Set myself up for that one.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't even mean to.
I can't really see your melons from here.
She's got good ones.
Good melons, huh?
Yeah, they're not bad.
They're nice.
They're not bad.
We get a text thread. I'm sure you'll see them more than I will now that we're married. I kid.
That'll be Fandom After Hours.
Yeah, that's only on our Patreon.
It's our Patreon, our OnlyFans.
You guys have OnlyFans. I'm gonna start one called Only Dads. See how that hits.
There you go.
We love a good DILF. You're a good DILF.
Yeah,
I'll subscribe.
I appreciate that. Thank you, man. I'll even let the hairy chest go out a little bit more just
There
for
you
the
go.
hell of it.
Yeah.
He unbuttons a couple extra buttons.
Yes.
A little couple of extra buttons.
We want a low V-neck the next time we do this.
Yeah. Look, I'm millennial. I swear to God, that V-neck will go down to my fucking pubic hair. That's how much I'll rock a V-neck.
Yes.
It's like almost like a Borat bathing suit.
Oh
Yes,
my
I was
God.
just thinking of Borat in that Speedo
It's
bikini
very
thing.
nice.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
very nice.
Yeah.
It's nice.
So,
Oh my gosh.
all right,
That's
before
too
we
funny.
digress any further, Mount
Mount
Rushmore.
Rushmore.
Yes.
Yeah.
For the guys, I'm going Derek Kaczynski,
Ooh, yes.
Wes Durrell.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. He even hate to give him the credit, but
To give it to CT instead.
oh, CT.
He's like, is he gonna say it? Is he gonna say Nanner?
There's always a debate,
It
but
was almost there. It was almost
CT
there.
over bananas for me.
Me too.
yeah, welcome
Yeah.
to the club.
Yeah.
I'm on the fence.
Katie's like, I'm silent.
I'm not going to say anything.
Katie, I'm going to put you on the
Katie,
spot
we'll
right now.
Yeah, we'll
No.
just.
Jordan or bananas? Pick one.
I-
I've already tried to make her pick. She won't pick between Jordan and bananas.
Oh, that was extra dramatic. I didn't mean it to
Well, it
be.
depends on if she wants to feel like she's being penetrated or not.
Oh,
I've seen it in his shorts. It's like bye bye.
Oh, see, I saw his little leaked video.
Oh, with
Did they
his like,
actually show his
oh
ween?
no.
No, but you could tell by
Yeah.
how.
How much tentage?
Yeah.
Yes.
that's why we have a water bed.
Oh my God.
See, we started talking about dicks in the beginning. We've
Yeah.
come full circle.
Uh-huh.
We've
Full
come full
circle.
circle.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's-
Oh man, I can't.
See, and this is why I am a firm believer that women shouldn't have cocks also, because I know what
No.
you would do every
Oh.
time. It'd be the
yeah.
elephant
Oh.
trunk all the fucking time.
All the time.
Oh yeah.
All the fucking
All
time.
the time. I tell my husband all the time. If I had one, I'd just be playing with it all the time.
All
Like,
the
I
time.
don't understand how you don't.
We
it's
do,
just
though.
It's just
Yeah, we
there.
do.
You do,
Okay.
though. He says.
Yeah,
We play with it all the time.
yeah. I've done it for half this interview. No one's noticed. It's fine.
Oh my God.
Yeah. My hands are up here too, which is wild.
Wow. That's some flexible toes you got there, buddy. You'll flick the ball sack with your toe routine.
Oh my God.
Gotta say Indian style. That's the trick. See, doing yoga with Paula paid off.
There you go.
Yeah. No,
Oh my gosh, that's
as-
amazing.
as myself, I like making the short dick jokes. It's so funny. Like when
All the time.
someone said the elephant thing. I was like, I tried it, but it just looks like a light switch, just up and down now. So works.
Dicks come up and he makes a small dick
Ugh.
joke every time. I'm like, why? He's like, because it's not fun if you
Because
don't.
it's
I'm
what I
like,
do.
oh, God.
Look, it's because if you want, are we diving psychology? Because I'll do this with Ryan
Sure.
on here right now.
Yeah.
Sure.
When I was in my early 20s to mid 20s and I wasn't very confident in my person and who I was, and your really only experience outside of your group of friends that you've seen like in a locker room or something like that
Yeah.
is porn, and they're fucking hung like
That's
my
true.
arm.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
And then you compare like a normal size, like a average size.
Yeah.
You know, so
That's fair.
my goal was, if I make small dick jokes, and even if I say it's really tiny, like 2.5 inches, and if it's only 3.5 inches, guess what? I'm still underselling and over delivering. It's a win
I
for
see-
everyone.
I agree. Yes.
That's girl math.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what?
Undersell, over deliver. I got it.
So
All right.
I remain humble about my penis size because I like people being surprised and being like, oh, okay.
Okay.
You know?
You know, when they think they're getting a fucking gummy bear and all of a sudden it's a sour gummy worm, that's exponential growth. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
Based on the average weight of a horse and their size, it's 50 pounds per inch. So
That's
at that
right.
point, if you weigh 200 pounds and you have a 4-inch cock, you're hung like a horse.
Yes.
That's
I
some
like
boy
it.
math. That's
you
boy
go.
math right
Boy
there.
math. Yeah.
Let's never
I like this.
disregard the female Mount Rushmore after this conversation.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
So there you go. Our audience learned a lot more about me than they should have ever learned. So you're welcome.
Yeah.
They learned a lot more about a lot of us today than they probably thought they were going to.
Especially the listeners.
I hope you guys are hyped for season 40 now.
Oh my God. All the dicks. All the dicks.
All the dicks everywhere.
Labias, vulvas, dicks. We got it all.
Everything willy-nilly everywhere.
You will. There is quite a bit of sexual intercourse on 40. So you guys will, we'll see.
Nice.
I mean, we'll see what they show, but you'll get your money shots.
Well, they showed just some hookups in the trailer.
They did.
And I was like, oh, Okay.
which we haven't gotten hookups in a trailer in a long time.
Well, we know just based on Instagram, one of them. You
Well,
know what I
that too.
mean?
They
So,
couldn't hide it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't hide stuff like that.
I mean, there's tattoos of names on the back of the neck, you know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, and my favorite thing is it's like recently they haven't been showing that much of it on the flagship. And it's like, let's not pretend like this isn't the Olympics where everybody's not fucking everybody else. We know what this is.
Yeah.
All right.
Who was it? God, what season was it? Who was it? Was it like Melissa or Jordan or not Jordan, Georgia, or it was one of the girls and she was like, yeah, we're like one big.
Oh, it was Melissa.
Was it Melissa? Yeah. She was like, we're just, I can't
We're
remember
an
exactly what she
incestuous
said.
family.
A big incestuous family that all just sleep with each other all the time.
Kinda
And I was
true.
like, that's
Yeah.
fair.
I'm not mad about
I
it.
started that trend 20 years ago.
A trendsetter.
I'm like, you have arms. That'll do. Yeah.
Sounds like me in my teens.
I only need one good hand, Jordan. Just one.
Feet work too.
Oh, that's amazing.
And the other one can do a little tickling. It's great. Yeah.
Clipping this and sending it to Jordan. Stat.
I love Jordan. Jordan,
do
you know I
too.
love you. He
He's
makes fun of
amazing.
himself all the time. He's great. Yeah.
He
Oh,
does.
we've had him on. He's a great guy.
He's so
Fucking-
good. I mean, shoot, it was what when he was on Real World with Marlon. He had that whole joke about how an alligator.
Oh,
what was
yeah.
it?
Oh,
Alligator
yeah.
bit his hand.
Alligator bit his hand off, and he had Marlon believe in that shit so hard for a while, and then he was finally like, "I'm just kidding, dude."
I was born like this.
I was
Yeah.
born like this.
Born this way. Lady Gaga. Yes.
Yep.
Female Mount Rushmore.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Rachel.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Cara Maria.
Yep.
Yep.
Paula.
I love it.
Yes.
I love that.
Evelyn.
You
Ooh.
can't argue that.
Or cannot argue a single person on that, and I love that you put Paula up there. Nobody
I
ever
do too.
does. And
Fuck yeah.
she fucking deserves it. I love her. I love it.
So to me, the women is so difficult. It's just like whatever your spice of life is, because there's so many. Like with the men, you can kind of look at wins or impact. With women, they're all really
There's
close.
so many.
Like, how do you argue a Paula versus a fucking Cara Maria? You
Yeah.
know what I mean? They're
Or
both
Evelyn or
Evelyn.
Emily
Yeah,
or
it's such a difficult-
taking personal feelings out. Laurel's what she's achieved, and
Yes.
like there's so, and then you
Veronica
have Veronica who's
with
got
3.
3 wins. Like
Yeah.
it's just there's so many that it's like they're all grouped there.
And then,
But I love when Paula gets put up there. I really do.
I will leave this to your interpretation, but after watching 40, there might be a 5th Mount Rushmore head in Era
Ooh.
4.
Ooh.
Oh.
I
Might
think I
have
might
to-
know. I think I might know who
I
you're
know
talking
now
about.
my wheels are spinning.
I think I might have an idea.
Look, all I've got to say is this.
I know there's a couple people in Era 4 that have really good potential to be Mount Rushmore
Yes.
players.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Don't get me wrong, both sides are absolutely stacked, but looking at like Era 2, just having Emily, Cara, and Laurel in the same era is fucking nuts.
Yeah.
If Emily did more challenges, I would consider her because she's an automatic, like she was the first name I thought of when you asked me that. But I feel like it also has to do with like how the longevity of someone's challenge career or seeing them on multiple,
Yes.
Yeah.
She's chosen not to be on more shows,
Oh, yeah.
I feel very blessed that she chose to come back for this one
Yeah.
and to
As
be
a-
on my team. She was my female voice of reason.
Oh,
like-
good.
Yes.
I love that. I love
Yeah,
that. I've missed her.
Emily. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
great.
Anyways, that wraps up everything not everything I want to talk about, but all the questions I had at least. I mean,
We
I've
can also
fucking-
do this again after the show starts airing if you have things you want to talk about that are like maybe like mid-season, like shit that we
Yes.
can actually talk about once it's aired.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Ooh.
I think if possible, like if you're game for it, and we can always adjust our recording time instead of a Friday night, if you'd be open to coming on and doing like a recap with us, you know what I mean? Where
Of course.
you wherever you end up, even if it's the end of the season after the final, we'd still love to have you come back and talk to you about it.
Yeah, yeah, no, that'd be super fun.
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah, yay.
Fuck yeah, bro.
Team America. Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
See, that's how you know millennials right there. We've seen some fucked up shit.
Yep.
If we do this again, though, can we do like pajamas and lingerie for everyone?
Oh,
Of course.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, if
100%.
you can find a big enough blur, I'll do this shit naked once you put it on YouTube, but you got to find a big one. Not for my dick, but just for my hips. Because you have to blur out all of that, and I'm fat.
Yeah.
So,
Oh my
the
God.
next one will be just for Patreon.
Yeah.
Just for OnlyFans.
I like
Exclusive.
it. Exclusive.
just putting that out there. Only dads.
Only dad.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Well, do you guys have any other questions before we let Ryan go?
I do not.
I feel like I'll just, I'll talk to you about Buffy and
Yeah.
Tech and Vampire Diaries
Oh my
and
god, all of it.
all of the things.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And Taylor Swift. I didn't know you were a Swiftie too. So
I am a Swiftie as of recent years. Yep.
I was going to say, I think there's more challengers than you know, Katie, that are into Taylor Swift. I know Michelle is quite
Michelle,
weird.
Tori, Olivia. Like,
oh,
Yeah, Olivia too. Yep.
Yeah. So,
well, we know. Yeah, obviously. Yeah. But yeah. I just remember that video, Katie. I don't know if you remember it from like, I think it was after 38 filmed
probably.
for the reunion. And it was like Tori, Nerese, Olivia, Laurel. There is just like like 9 or 10. Devin was there, and they were all like in the hotel room, and they were singing Anti-Hero. They were singing the bridge to Anti-Hero. I have the video on my phone,
didn't see
screen
it.
recorded somewhere.
I love that.
I'll have to pull it and send it to you. But that was when I was like, oh, all these people are fucking Swifties. Devin, Tori, all of them. Like,
Yes.
So
That's a relationship I wanted to see more about.
Devin and Tori.
No, Devin and Michelle. I want
Oh.
I want to
Yes.
see how this happens.
I was like, we've been down the Devin Tori train. Okay, we're done. I give up on that. But yeah, Devin, Michelle, that's interesting.
It makes sense, huh?
I'm actually doing the premiere with them as of today. We committed to do a Challenge Mania in New York City on the Upper East Side.
Nice. Heck yeah.
fun.
That'd
They
be
do make
plus.
sense.
Mark, me, Michelle, and Devin. So we have one person from each era.
I love that.
Oh, do you know when that's going to be?
The night it airs, August 14th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be so fun.
That's
You
Yeah.
might have to
so cool.
call into work, Katie.
I know.
Katie's like, I got to cancel all my appointments for that day.
You have a place,
Everything's
you have a place
canceled.
to stay, sweetie.
Thank you so much.
See? Look at that.
Yep.
What was I going to say? No, Devin, big fan of his. He gave
I
us a
love
shot.
Devin.
He was our very first episode.
Very first episode.
Nobody knew who we were. He's like, yeah, I'll do it. I was like, dude, that's
We didn't even
fucking
have an
cool.
Instagram page. Like I just
Wow.
messaged him from just like my regular page and was like, we have this podcast. We're trying to get it going. You're our like one of our favorite non-champs. We would love for you to be the first person. It was just a shot in the dark. And instead of just being our first interview, he was our very first episode. Episode 1 was us interviewing Devin Walker, and it was so cool. And he's
He's a great guy.
been so fucking supportive. He's so cool, dude. I love him.
He is. He's the one that convinced me to start an OnlyFans.
There you go, dude. Yeah,
That's
and he makes
awesome.
so much good. He does good on OnlyFans. Like he does real good on OnlyFans. I love him. He's such a cool guy. Like I am definitely ride or die for Devin. For
Look,
sure.
he's inspired me to do an Only Dads.
Jeez.
I really need to step up my Speedo game. I'm going to be honest.
Oh yeah. Well, you can't compete with Devin Speedos. I don't know.
Jesus Christ, I'm your husband.
I'm just saying.
Lie to me.
His Speedo game.
Lie to me.
His Speedo game is on lock. Okay.
No, Ryan feels like he can beat him in that. So
Well, the only two people that got naked that started the trend on the first night in 40 were me and Devin. So.
Nice.
Makes sense.
I like that.
I like it.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
If that was a question, you two would have been on my bingo card for that. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
For sure. Yes.
I taught him how to do a mangina.
Yes. I love this.
I know that trick. I'm very well aware, and it's not just from old Greg.
Oh my God.
You see my downstairs mix up. Sorry, all right, I gotta close this out. Otherwise, I'm gonna start quoting Borat and fucking old Greg, and it's gonna fucking go downhill from there more than I already have.
Oh no!
Start telling mosquito jokes again.
Oh no!
I'm joking. All right, Ryan, I can't tell you how much of a pleasure this has been.
Yeah.
Look, we've been online now for 3 hours, and it literally feels like 90 minutes, if less than that.
Yeah.
And I think that just goes to say how personable and charismatic you are. And look, I know we met 90 minutes ago, but I feel like I've known you for 5 years with Saf, the shit I've told you about myself. So,
Yes.
yes,
Big
absolutely.
hugs.
Yes, I am an ally for you guys. So you guys hit me up whenever you need to shoot the shit.
Oh,
Absolutely.
thanks. That's
And-
so awesome.
Thank you.
And I know you've got probably a very strong support system. If you ever need someone to talk to in regards to sobriety, feel free to reach out to me. I'll send you my phone number at any time you want to talk. Just let me know. And it works out because 1 a.m. for you, it's 11 here. I got you. 10, 11, I'm still awake, so we're good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be pretty lonely at like 1 o'clock in the morning, like shooting content for my only fan, my singular,
Your singular
my
fan.
one.
Singular fan.
Josh.
Just one singular fan. Yes,
Josh.
Josh Martinez,
Josh.
my first and only subscriber.
I was going Chambers, but I'll let Martinez slide on that one too.
Both of them.
It's probably Devin just showing his support. You know
Right.
what?
Yeah, I know.
Supporting the
Tossing me a
homie.
bone.
Yeah, there you go, buddy. No,
That's
but
so awesome.
honestly, Ryan, this has been an absolute blast. I know I am watching with even more bated breath for 40
Yes.
and seeing all of this that you kind of teased
Oh,
us
yeah.
with.
Yeah,
We'll definitely have you back to talk about it once it's all aired too.
Yeah.
perfect.
Yay.
Love you guys.
Love
We
you,
love
Ryan.
you
Thank
too.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
You're welcome.
you.
We'll talk soon.
Yes.
Bye.
Katie, if you want to come, I'm serious. Just DM me. We'll do.
Really?
Yeah.
I may have to take you up on
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
I mean, it will be like a lot of fans, so I don't know, like at the event, how like if it's going to be a shit show, but you can come.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look, Katie's ready.
She's ready to
fucking
go
already
now.
I know.
there.
I'm trying to figure it out in my brain. I'm like, well, I could still come to Michigan and then I'll just leave really early. Whatever the day.
Well, no, it's
Think about it.
yeah, because for August 14th is the one in New York City, right?
Oh, yeah.
For the
Yeah.
premiere,
I'm
yeah.
thinking Mania.
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh,
That's the Buffalo Mania. That's the end of September. I was talking about the premiere.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, shit. Now it looks like maybe in a year or two we're gonna have to plan a trip to New York next.
I know. And we know
No.
enough people up there now.
Yeah.
Tori's back up there. Devin's up there. There's
I'm up
tons of
here.
people. Yeah, you're up. Of
I
course,
mean,
you're
I'm
up there.
kind of far,
But that's okay.
It's up
I'm
to you.
in the state. So
I've never been there.
Look, it's a different thing on the West Coast. Like I look at New York and I'm like, it takes 3 hours to drive across. Max, I
That's
can make that happen.
nothing.
It takes 9 hours to go from one side of Nevada to the other. So
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
get
yeah.
it. Yeah, you know what I mean. But all right, guys, I love you guys all so much. Thank you once again, Ryan. And
You're welcome.
we'll be in
Yeah.
touch
Thank
soon.
you guys. Yes. Have a great night. Good
You
weekend.
you too.